everyone, and welcome to Game Masters, a show where we like to show off a lot of different things in the speedrunning world and just the gaming world in general. I have a couple of quick announcements before we get started here with A Link to the Past with Fant_TV. If you're watching on YouTube and would like to support our live content, please consider checking out our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/GDQ. If you have an Amazon Prime account, remember you can subscribe to any Twitch channel of your choice every month for free. Please consider using your Prime Gaming account to subscribe to the GDQ Twitch channel. Your subs, gift subs, Amazon Prime subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support our weekly hotfix content. Thank you, everyone, for supporting our shows. And with that, I actually want to get underway here because we have a very interesting run here. First up on Game Masters, we're going to be having Fantasy Link to the Past Randomizer with Fant TV, and it's going to be commentated by ogNdrahciR. How are both of you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. Thanks so much for having me. Yeah. I just want to give like a quick introduction of what this is. If you've ever done like fantasy football, you know, you have like a draft phase, you're picking players, you're picking positions. And this is kind of that concept that turned into a randomizer, implemented. And instead of players, we're drafting locations. So there's a whole bunch of different items to find and pick up. And 12 people have, before the show, drafted 10 locations. And depending on what I find in each of those locations, I get a point value. Something really valuable is going to worth a lot of points. You know, not so valuable can be worth very little or even negative points. A couple of them. Quite interesting.
For anyone that's watching live, if you do !Game Masters in chat, you'll be able to see a link to all of the picks that those people had picked, as well as what chat was given for picks. So You'll be able to look along as Fant gets pickups. You'll be able to see that there.
Yeah, we couldn't, have chat pick their own checks, but we want to have you all represented. So best of luck. You can see the checks that were allotted to you. But I don't want to spend too much just sitting here on this title screen here, but here to join me on commentary, keep me honest, and make sure I don't forget anything. None other than my good friend ogNdrahciR. I think, Rick, if you want to pick us off here, a little bit of a...
Well, thank you very much. So this is going to be a little bit of an interesting run here, and obviously one of the biggest things is to figure out where that moon pearl is, because I think, if I remember correctly, that has one of the most amount of points attached to an item.
Yeah, moon pearl at 10 points is the most valuable item based on my arbitrary scoring of each item that you possibly. That's also in the spreadsheet. You can see the scoring, but I think we're ready to go. So are we ready for the timer to begin?
Oh yeah, we're ready when you are.
Countdown. All right, on go. 3, 2, 1, go.
So we're going to go through a little bit of a cutscene here to start off this seed, and we're going to get the first pick that leads to potentially some points coming up here in this first check.
That is a piece of heart. Piece of heart is worth 1 point to whoever drafted that location. And you may notice we're in the opening cutscene here of the game where it's all rainy. This is a standard mode seed. What that means is you start the game going through Hyrule Castle Escape, and we'll be picking up all the items away that we can. Yep.
So now we head to Link's uncle here, and that's just 10 arrows. Not really something that's essential.
And because it's not essential, I waste my time looking at that chest cutscene, excuse me. It's actually worth negative points there. So if you see a 10 arrow pickup, that player is losing 1 point.
Yeah, that's unfortunate here for It's David, who had that assigned to him. The secret passage was the heart container. As we now go through the standard opening sequence here, we have to get down to Zelda's cell. And so we got a few minutes here to just at least discuss on this entire process. So let me ask you this. How did this all come about?
Yeah, this was actually something I believe a viewer of Spike Vegeta came up with as a general idea, and then me and him kind of developed it for Ocarina of Time as an initial test. After that was done, I kind of spun it off to a Link to the Past version, and have been trying to run it weekly ever since. And I think people have really enjoyed it and had a ton of fun, and I hope everybody watching will have a ton. But it's constantly evolving. We're constantly updating it, and just taking suggestions and organizing things. There's also our first check that is actually of value, the Ice Rod. That's worth 5 points there for Canon Swift. The only thing we need Ice Rod for in the game is to defeat Shrinex. I don't know if that's going to be a required dungeon yet.
Yeah, we've
But
got a
as a
little while before we
general-
can find that out.
Yeah, as a general rule of thumb, if an item is a potential progression item, things like the hammer, things like medallions, the hook shot, the minimum point value for those is going to be 5. And then other things that are nice to haves are going to be potentially like 1 point or 2. Yes.
But there's certain things that are not so nice to have, and you have negative points assessed to them.
Yeah, if you see, oh, hey, it's David now. I know what, I should have used the pots here. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, let's not
So-
die to ball and chain guard.
Yeah. Oh, hey, it's David currently at negative 0.99 points. Like, where did that 0.01 come from? As a
Yeah,
method
just-
of a tiebreaker, you have fractional points given from like red rupees. They're kind of useful. Didn't want to make them negative. Didn't want to have too many negative items. And so we made rupees 0.01 points. It kind of works as a secondary tiebreaker if 2 players had the exact same amount of points. It's whoever got more red rupees.
To peel back the curtain a bit, too, oh hey, it's David was late to the draft and didn't get a couple of, maybe picks that he wanted to have at the beginning. So we'll see how that affects him later on. in
To
this
be
year.
honest, I think I was the one who chose Link's
Yeah.
uncle for him.
Oh.
I thought actually he was
there-
going to have something nice.
Okay, now we're just still moving along on the escape because I could use this to explain how dungeon items work. So, anybody familiar with the randomizer? And for those of you not familiar, we have dungeon items and actual items. Dungeon. So dungeon items are things like keys, maps, compasses. We didn't want those to be part of the overall point. So each dungeon in this mode has a set number of locations in it. For example, Hyrule Castle has 6 locations. And you can pick Hyrule Castle 1 or Hyrule Castle 2. And whichever chest I open that contains like the first item, that becomes the check. So in dungeons, you're not picking individual locations, you're picking like the item order stuff I find. It's like the earlier number ones are going to get checked first. The later ones, if you're in go mode, you may not ever check those. I'm under no obligation to check every location in this game. Ooh my gosh, a bow. Awesome.
That's nice for Stinger, who had to sit there and wait while you got a key in Zelda's cell to find out that was going to actually be a nice item to get.
Yeah, bows are really good finds. One item that's just, you need it. You absolutely need it at the very least to go through the mimic rooms in GT. There are ways around it, but we're not going to be using. Let's
There
go.
we
I got a
go.
bomb
That's a
here.
nice
All right.
find. So
I
Richard
need
here is
one
not going to have to.
bomb.
Richard's not going to have to sit here and wait a while to find out what number 3 is going to be.
Oh, we got red rupee, blue rupee, negative points, and a piece of heart. Okay.
Beautiful.
Congratulations on your 0.01 points there, Richard.
I am ahead of some people. That's what matters, right?
You're ahead of GDQ chat, Richard. I
Yeah.
think you should wear that with a badge of honor here. All right, we're almost done. Escape. If I could just, grab this very slippery lever here. I'm pretty sure Rick could probably confirm this. They put like some type of oil on that lever to make it, much harder to grab than you would think.
Absolutely. It can confirm, and they do that for any Switch in this game. You want to grab it? It's not going to work.
Now, I wasn't counting items correctly, and I should have known that that was a map.
I knew it was a map.
Yeah, but so Rick, no, I brought you on here.
You were talking about stuff that was too slippery to hold down. I couldn't stop you.
No, good point. Now, common things in the randomizer, we have tree poles, which have a chance to drop bombs or rupees, something else that's not valuable. And speaking of bombs, there we go. I'm set for bombs. Early game, oh, if the bush crab get out of my way. Early game, bombs and rupees are pretty important. A lot of checks that you don't want to have to go double back for. And I should mention here, since I just looked at an item that was in the lumberjack tree, there is 20 rupees. Points are scored and given as soon as I know what an item is. I don't have to actually collect it. That's not required.
And that
It's
includes
just
the
knowledge of the
inscriptions. That includes the inscriptions for things like the pedestal or the tablets.
Oh, 50 rupees. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, so it's just based on knowledge. And we have things like progressive items as well. You know, there's multiple swords in the game, there's multiple bows in the game, multiple armor upgrades, the power glove and Titan's mitt. The way those are scored is the first time you see them, that will count as like the first strength upgrade found, the first bow that's found, the first sword that's been found. And points for further down in the progression are generally less because, like, you know, green mail to blue mail is really helpful. Green mail, just you take so many hits to things later in the dungeon, later in the game. So like the red mail is worth less than blue mail, for example. Again, if you want to see, you know, what potential items are worth, exclamation point Game Masters. And now, speaking of worth, we have a flute, ether medallion, the single rupee, and a red rupee. So whoever picked right side gets that single rupee. And I think that was nuclear reaction.
Yeah, -3 points right there. But Richard in the background here is very, very happy about that 6 points for the ocarina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, moving up there in the world.
Now you're beating more people.
And
So
yeah,
this is
speaking of
really
moving up
good.
in the world, just really quick, moving up in the world, you know, fan_TV recently got Twitch partner. And if you're not following him, go follow twitch.tv/fan_TV.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you. For anyone that doesn't know, I actually want to say that Fant has been an interview producer for GDQ events for a while now. So anything you see during like AGQ, SGQ for interview segments, Fant might have been behind the camera for that. And now he is in front of the camera for all of you playing this Rando Seed.
You mean that was your fault?
Yep.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Richard. Oh, the cane of Brian there. Everybody calls it the cane of Brian. I'm not sure why. Maybe Rick knows.
I think somebody fat fingered it.
And that's been its name ever since. In the game, it's called Cane of Burna, but it's kind of spelled weird. So, you know, Brian's just kind of funnier to say. Now, we picked up a lot of very, very good things here that allows me to basically full clear Kakariko in one trip. We picked up a bottle, which allows me to check the sick kid here. We picked up all the bombs and rupees we needed, so I could buy the item from the bottle vendor. And more bombs. We picked up the flute, so we can instantly use that to go around the world as needed. But importantly, we are lacking a couple key things. And oh, unfortunate. Who had the chicken hut there, getting that 10 arrow stinker -1 point? Unfortunate.
Some Dastar was ending up getting the negative points for that, but Nuclear Reaction ended up redeeming themselves for getting the lamp in the well.
Very good. Yeah, the lamp, I don't have to do any dark rooms now. Without the lamp, we can see. Because, you know, crazy fact, I know, the lamp It's light. No longer gonna be. Dark rooms in this game can be pretty difficult. I'm kind of glad I had it because I forgot to bring up the maps of the dark rooms before this started. So there's one dark room in particular I would have had a little bit of trouble with without looking at the map, but we don't have to worry about that, Rick, so we don't need to discuss it anymore. 300 rupees there. God, do I get it? I already flew. Oh. I have to remember 300 rupees are there at the race game. That's a couple points for whoever had it.
Important in case you need to go to Zora.
Oh, look at that. We have our Lift Upgrade 1 Power Glove. That's a lot of points right there. That is one of our tickets to Dark World Access.
You shouldn't answer which dark room that was.
Do I want to embarrass myself that much on the GDQ channel?
Of course you do.
All right, I'll say it's the pod dark room.
Which one?
The dark the
maze?
turtle room. Turtle room.
Oh, the turtle room. Oh yeah, yeah. Especially if you don't have a fire rod.
Yep.
Especially if you don't have a fire rod and no mail upgrade, because those things do one heart damage. They can really eat away your life real fast, especially if you lose control of that room.
All right.
So I definitely feel you there.
Yeah, come up here. You have a mini Moldorm cave, so named because, well, these enemies called mini Moldorms. Why mini? Because there's a much bigger one that's very annoying. Anybody who's played Link to the Past has suffered the fate of getting knocked off by that boss at least once. I don't care how good you are at the game.
I'm still in therapy over it.
And, oh, we get a whole bunch of bombs and a Master Sword, so that's nice. And for me, a little worrying because Rick, I have the Master Sword of the Lamp now.
I don't see the concern here.
Don't? Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, yeah. Hopefully nothing's gonna be
You still
awaiting
You still
us
got
in
plenty
the
of checks.
tower. It's just a sign though, right? Every time, oh ouch, wasn't paying attention. Every time I get like the Master Sword early and a lamp, those are items you need to go through Aga Tower. Generally an optional dungeon because there's nothing required in there. But depending on where things are, you may be forced to go through there to access the Dark World. And oh, look at that blue mail. All right, so we've cleared most of the opening Light World checks. And Stinger just crushing it early on here. Doing really, really well. 20 points, but has already blown through almost half of his checks.
You know, Stinger made the spreadsheet, right? Are we sure everything's right? Stinger's not adding any points?
So the spreadsheet, yeah, we track everything in a spreadsheet. It was a collaborative project between multiple people. That being said, Stinger did like a statistical analysis on like 100,000 randomizer seeds he generated and set weights to all the checks and uses that as the basis of how he locates and chooses what to pick. And you know,
Oh,
it's
wow.
hard to argue with the results. And oh, look at this, the old man giving me a book. I'm gonna stop in here for a health refill just because RNG, boulders and squirrels. Two of the most annoying enemies in A Link to the Past on the same screen. Their patterns are almost entirely RNG. You just have to kind of hope it doesn't decide to bounce your way.
Everybody who's played this game has gotten dead-rocked before.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, look at that. We
Ooh.
have the Cane of Samaria on top of Spectacle Rock. We can't get it right now,
That's nice for
but
Dustar
we do
right
know
there.
where it is. All right, really quick, I'm going to check my my crystals. In order to beat the game, we need to have collected all 7 crystals, then beat the boss. We have 3 Light World crystals, pretty good. And we have that book, so I'm going to put that to use now. And look at that, we have the flippers. We're going to head over there and get that now.
That's a real nice find.
Potentially needed, depending on the status of Swamp Palace. Swamp Palace is the only thing that has a hard requirement for the flippers. Well, there's another check as well, but in terms of dungeons, the others can be gotten around with a variety of cool glitches that I will not be afraid to show off. Now we're in deserts. Deserts has a chance of being what we call boots locked. It appears because we have the big key right there. That's because of this item on a torch right here. I may not be able to collect it. It is a shield. Shield's not too useful, only worth 1 point. Consolation prize for whoever got it.
And because that was a shield on the torch, we know that this is going to be a small key in this chest right here.
Indeed.
Because that's going to give you access to the 2 that are on the right-hand side of the dungeon.
Right you are. And this is good because I can clear all this right now. I'm going to. I'm going to beat Desert. It's one of our 5-6 crystals, which are a little bit important.
Yeah, they're important because there's a thing called the Pyramid Fairy, and in the normal game, you have to defeat Ice Palace and Misery Mire in order to get the red bomb that you take to the pyramid to unlock the Pyramid Fairy. And in this case, that's the same thing. The 5-6 crystals do the same thing here. Desert being one of them is going to be in the Dark World. Now, we did not see anything else of importance inside of this right side of Desert, which means the second item is going to be at Lamola.
That is correct. And that is where we are headed next. Unfortunately, I don't have boots or the mirror, which would speed up quite a bit of this. We're just going to have to trek our way over. No fancy movement maneuvers, other than an occasional bit of pumping. But minor time save there.
You got to mash those buttons in order to save a few fractions of a second. It all adds up.
Every frame counts.
Isn't that what we were supposed to do here in GDQ, is to save the frames?
I don't know. I think it depends on who you ask, Rick.
Yeah, if you actually, check out any of our hotfix shows, a lot of it's actually about, the communities and all of the different games that are being showcased. And, it doesn't matter if, someone's the fastest or something. You really got to understand that there's, all these different communities out there. Like, fans community does this all the time. So, we want to showcase off a lot of different things on GDQ Hotfix. So even seeing, something like this is a very unique take on Link to the Past Randomizer. There are a lot of tournaments out there. There are a lot of, people like racing randomizers, doing randomizers on their own. This is a very unique thing that, fans community does with randomizers, is having a bunch of people getting together, like taking picks for what they, think is going to be good in the rando, and then Fan does the rando. So, yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, everybody seems to be having a lot of fun with it. And if you want to, we're showcasing this here on GDQ today, but I do try to do these once a week, basically every Tuesday, provided we get enough people interested to sign up and do the draft phase. So if you like what you see here and want to do some more, there'll be opportunities there. Trying to do some fancy NMG arrow strats without the setup, but fortunately it didn't work out too well. So I'm going to go to sword spins here.
Yeah, the other unfortunate thing is that you didn't have full magic, so you could at least try to do some ice rod strats.
That would have been nice. So not going to be the prettiest Landmo 2 here, or Landmos here. Just gonna take it slow and not die.
Yeah, as long as you don't spin in a circle and turn red.
Priority there. There we go. And you get $20 for Desert 2. And that's our first crystal. Mark that up right there. So there are only 2 items in Desert Palace. We found them both. And who was rewarded with the amazing 0.01?
Banshee ended up getting the 0.001 there.
Nice. Congratulations.
So all of 11, or rather 1.01 points, and that's out of that Desert Palace.
All right, this is the last thing I have to check in the desert area that I can do for now. Our good friend, Agina. I have a hermit living out here in the desert alone in a dimly lit room. And was holding the tempered sword for it. Very nice.
Well, that would have been nice for that Lamola fight.
That would have probably cut the time there in half. No joke. All right, so where I'm going to go to next is Eastern and Sahasral. We have a bow and bombs, so we can also full clear this dungeon. We're just going to do that in a simple order of doing the dungeon first, giving my trackers a little bit of time to prepare that we're going into Eastern now. And head to Sasha's closet afterwards. This will be another crystal that we can get right away. And I'm hoping at some point we can something called the boots that would just go so much faster.
Right now, we're just hoping to get Dark World access. We're still 2 items away.
Yeah, I'm getting a little worried here. We may have to do Aghanim. You know, Rick, I told you I was worried initially, right? And he was like, nah,
Yeah.
You have so many more things to check. It's going to be fine.
You still do.
It is.
You
gonna
still
be fun.
do.
I still do, but still scary.
You've got 8 checks right at this point. You've got the 3 in here, plus you've got the flipper stuff coming up.
I may be going to get those 300 rupees at the race game if I need to potentially check King Zora here.
Well, don't forget about the 90 here as well.
I'm getting them. Because that's going to be enough to afford it, to head back. And since I have the flute, like getting a background's pretty easy. And Eastern Compass. Okay, we got our map and compass, items 1 and 2. That means I'm going to have to collect everything, every check. I cannot potentially skip the big key location here.
It just means that Spike has to wait further to see whether or not he's going to actually get points in this dungeon.
Yeah, let's get a preview of who we have with checks here. Who's got Eastern 1, who's got Eastern 2, Eastern 3. We could cheer for them, cheer against them.
All right. Well, we in the first check.
For.
In the first check, we got Spike. In the second check, we got Felix. In the third check, we got Foolajin.
All right. Well,
And we still have to wait.
Check 1.
Now,
Spike Vegeta is going to be
if you want to
in
mess
the
with
big
Spike,
chest.
you could wait until you go to the big key chest, or you can do it here.
Doing it here. I can influence the order. And Spike gets a bottle of green goo. Because we already had a bottle, that's going to be worth less than the initial bottle we found. But no, it's still a safety item. Can still use it. Put a lot of goodies inside that to help me later.
Which means
coming
Felix is
up-
going to get the big key chest, and Foolajin will get what's at the Armos Knights.
That is right. So coming up next, if you're rooting for Felix right here, you want this.
Who's doing a wonderful job tracking right now.
Yeah,
might I
Felix
add.
is one of our trackers. Felix may already know what's in here. I hope he's going to be just as surprised as we are. That's going to be in this chest right here.
Felix is really hoping this is the Moon Pearl. But it's a shovel.
All right. We have a fetch quest, our first one.
You remember when I said we had 8 checks going into here? Well, we're now sitting at 6.
Yeah, Rick. I hope we get something soon, or we're going to be paying a visit to Aghanim. All right,
say
this is the
that like
rupee
that's a
room
bad
that's.
thing.
I mean, chat will love it probably. Everybody wants to see more Link to the Past content. This is the rupee room Rick was talking about. You can just come in here. This is me prepping for Zora on the assumption that I'm not going to get any other big rupee pickups. Because we have so few checks remaining. Erring on the side of caution here. Kind of autopiloted into getting all those arrow pickups, which is good. Good for the NMG run coming up after this.
Yeah, at least there you know where the 300 rupees are.
I do. We'll be getting them. Oh,
We're gonna have to talk to you about that Igor fight.
that's fine. I deserve it. I deserve it.
Get it out of this system now so that when you do the NMG run, you do it pristine.
Yeah, I can just do that instead.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to set up for a quick kill here. Hopefully I can get it.
If you do, it's 18 arrows to kill.
There you go.
Pretty
I
solid.
fired an extra one, unfortunately, but 19 arrows will take it. And that's Eastern done.
Well, Village
Fortunately,
appreciates
nothing
the
about
1/100th of a point that you got him.
Hey, that's good tiebreaker points right there.
That's more than 0 points, which is what we see chat have right now.
Yeah, but
It's
to be
okay.
fair, chat hasn't had a single check yet.
Yeah. Who
Yeah,
there in chat is excited for getting a point eventually? Getting multiple
Eventually,
points
they'll get a
even.
point.
Yeah.
Eventually, he'll check Lake Kylie Island.
Oh, that's coming up after this. All right, Sasha's Closet, $20, 10 arrows, and bombs.
Still no
Rick.
Moon Pearl.
Rick, I'm scared. I'm gonna go pick up those 300 rupees.
Oh, don't forget the shovel check at this point.
Yeah, I gotta pick that up on the way, actually.
So we're mentioning it many times. We're down to 6 checks at this point.
Now, anytime I've done or gone out of my way to get an item for
Oh,
Zora,
this is
like
the first
rupees-
chat check, by the way.
Oh, the dick spot. This is for chat, and chat gets a
Oh.
cape. That's another thing that you could use to get into Aga Tower.
That's 4 points for chat.
And chat
propelling up 3 spots now. Ahead of
No
Nukes,
longer in last
David,
place.
and our restreamer Railcoon, who's doing a great job on tech.
Woohoo!
Yeah, again, shout outs to everybody
That's not how you
keeping
get
the
there.
show running here. Yes, yes. So let me defend myself here.
You're
here,
just
okay?
making sure that those 300 rupees didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, no, recheck it, no. So I had the shovel equipped, right?
Yep.
I never come up this direction unless I'm in Dark World. So I thought I was in the Dark World, but unfortunately,
Oh.
I am not. And I was like, I'm going to go do the shovel game because look, I'm holding a shovel.
Yep.
That means I'm going to go do the shovel game. No.
I thought you were just going to make sure that whether or not the Quarreling brothers were going to take those rupees away from you.
Thankfully, they are still here. And let's head over to our last remaining locations. Oh boy. I'm gonna start with the man under the bridge. And we'll check the actually I should check the island first. Check the island.
Keep the chat in suspense.
No, we're gonna check it. We're gonna check it. I can't get it right now, but that is
Oh,
Bombos.
that's a decent find as well.
Now, Bombos is the most valuable of the 3 medallions. The reason that is because Ether and Quake, the only thing they can do is open up a dungeon. Bombos can also be required to go through Ice Palace. It allows you to beat a whole another dungeon in addition to opening stuff up.
Hey, chat. You're up to 5th place with that.
Oh,
There's
and
our
there's
Moon
the
Pearl.
Moon Pearl under the bridge.
Nuclear
That's 10
reaction getting the Moon
points.
Pearl 10 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge pickup for Nukes there.
Nukes and chat probably pretty happy right now with those pickups.
And now we are just 1 item away. I didn't mean to fall off there.
And the interesting thing is that we could get it either way, by way of a hammer or the other glove upgrade.
And we have 4 locations up here we're going to be getting. We have first the Waterfall Ferry. And Waterfall Ferry has the hammer
There we go.
and 10 arrows. Now we're in business.
Now, I'd like to report this to everyone who is watching. That officially means that your hopes and dreams, if you wanted an AGA 1 required seed, have just completely completed, went to dust or whatever you want to say. It's no longer valid. We do not
Also,
have an
I
AGA
just want to
seed.
say as well. Good job, chat. Look at you go. Doing very, very well. Right in the middle of the field here. And, I want chat to know as well. These are the picks that our other 12 players decided wasn't good enough.
Or
And,
didn't
well,
know what they were, okay?
I'm trying to defend chat, like boost up chat here. All right, we are done, and we can go to the Dark World.
So with the hammer, we now have two different accesses to the Dark World. We can leave Link's house and go over there and check this place that we call Hype Cave, or we can go through the Village of Outcast. And Fant has decided that he's going to head to the Hype Cave here, where 5 items exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the reason I like doing this is it's a whole bunch of items, and lacking the Titan's Myths, you're gonna have to like split up the world into 2 parts anyway. This is like my preferred route. Okay, let's get our other pendants. So we have Pendant Swamp, we have Pendant Mire, and then we have Pendant Thieves Town. Then Skull Woods is our other 5/6 crystal.
Yep, and that's a dungeon that we can't get into just yet because we need the fire rod in order to beat. Now, the interesting thing about this next check is that it took forever for somebody to decide that they wanted to pick this NPC during the draft.
Yeah, I went unpicked for so long, and it's got the red mail. So we are not in danger of dying here yet.
There's our fire rod.
You know what? Not bad. Red mail and fire rod. That's a good set. That's a good set of things.
Our Tech Relkin's very happy with those 7 points.
Yeah, they are now in 2nd place behind Stinger, overtaking myself.
You know what? I'm going to take that since I now have the fire rod for Skullwoods. I'm going to enter via Village of Outcasts and go top down. Yeah, the fire rod, very good pickup. And increasing chance that I'll find maybe the Titan's Myths over there. Be able to do everything in one go.
Poor O'Hays, David, 5 checks down, only 4 100ths of a point.
At least David's out of the hole.
Yeah, I'm proud of nobody has negative points right now. But that can all change depending on the location of the single arrow. Single arrow, I don't even know why it's a chest. I feel like Nintendo was definitely messing with people by having one single arrow in a chest. I believe it was in Palace of Darkness, is where the location of the single arrow is in the vanilla game. And
yeah, it's downstairs in the rupee room in the Palace of Darkness, which is a real fun place to get. I remember a few of my MMG runs where, whoops, I accidentally opened up that chest. Well, thank you for the arrow that I'm going to need to fire onto the torch in order to progress in that dungeon.
All right, we're heading straight to the back of Skullwoods. There are 2 items available, and I start with the things I guaranteed have to do. And since we have to come back here anyway without the mirror to get back to where we were, I'll just do the dungeon in reverse and hope we can save some time by having like checks in the back on.
And plus, if you get the mirror here, then it turns out to be an extra bonus because then we can check to see what's inscribed on the pedestal.
I hope it's nothing but trash, personally.
Well, you might be hoping that, but we know what chat would like, as well as the person who picked the pedestal. They think differently.
So I'm taking some damage hits here because I have red mail. Things do less damage than I would kind of like it. Because I have no mirror, walking out of here is a pain. So we will take a damage boost, not damage boost, a death warp, running into these spikes a couple more times. And this will teleport us back to the front. We could go.
Unless you have a fairy in a bottle.
I had a where did that come from?
It came from one of your bottles.
All right.
This was supposed to be your monthly insurance policy.
Rick, why didn't you tell me? All your fault.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we're getting word from the truck here. Felix TC saying first bottle was fair.
Yeah. Always remember, if you're going to do a death warp, do you have a fairy or not?
Yeah, because then that happens. And that one's not a nasty place for that to happen. There are worse places where if you end up doing that, and gosh. Of course, it also helps the fact that you only have 6 hearts at this point. Think about it as if you ended up having something like 15 hearts at this stage.
Hey, look, another fairy. All right. Sure.
So Stinger is waiting to see what the first item inside of this Skull Woods is, see whether or not he can pad his lead.
Fortunately, I have a sword beam here. Hit there. There's my key, and let's go beat Mothula.
Do me a favor and don't get grabbed by the Wall Master here.
It's fine. I knew what I was doing.
Good. It's not fun when you get Wall Mastered in this dungeon, especially with how little magic you have.
This is called Game Masters. Fan is a master. He knows what he's doing.
I would hope so.
I said Mothula was being a real jerk there, staying at the top, but got her down and Vicky.
If he finds into the spikes, it means he takes absolutely no damage, and 4 tempered sword hits will end up killing him, but they get nullified if he goes into the spikes.
Mm-hmm. And the room is surrounded by a spike, so if Mothula sticks beside them, you just have to hope you get a good bounce and the damage actually counts. It's a very strange boss and boss room. A couple recoil boosts.
Yeah, that helps you get around a little bit faster when you don't have the boots. That is a decent game plan. Still waiting to see what this first item is inside of the Skull Woods, so we can see whether or not Stinger builds upon the lead here for the fantasy points.
Yeah, this dungeon kind of gets a nickname among randomizer players as Value Woods. Taking advantage of the Wall Masters, they don't have a mirror to get back. And oh yeah, I forgot. This is where I entered. Still faster than pushing that statue back. All right.
Yeah, if only you had the Cane of Samaria. And well, gee, I wonder where that is.
I wonder where that is.
It's not like you can't actually get to it at this point, though.
Yeah, we need the mirror. Mirror is actually locking Bombos as well as... Yeah, as well as the Cane of Samaria. Cane of Samaria we know we're going to need.
Bombos is something we don't know if we need or not.
Don't know if we need. A shield. All right. I think the Wall Master didn't spawn there, so we're just walking our way out. And a map. As luck would have it, we're full clearing the dungeon anyway. Still just looking for the one. There it is.
And there it is. Ganon Swift getting the bug catching net as that second item inside of the Skull Woods. It's time for you to leave and head to a place we call the Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, I'm going to take a quick detour up to Bumper Cave really quick. I have the cape and I could check it right now.
Oh, that's
just
true,
while I'm here. There's not really ever a good time to go do this. I like wrap it in with the graveyard ledge or something. Just 10 arrows up there, so someone is probably mad I checked that. Because points only get scored once a check has been discovered. If it never gets found, it never gets scored. You can't gain points from it, but you also can't lose points from it if it's bad.
Yeah, Renz is very, very upset the fact that you decided to check that and make them lose a point.
We got C-shaped house here.
Fun thing about that check was that was the 100th pick of the draft. Think about it.
Something about Roman numeral. All right. East Town is a pendant. I don't want to full clear this yet, but opening up the first 4 checks in this kind of like large lobby area is pretty fast, and we can get an idea of what's going to remain in the back.
Yeah, watch this turn out to be key, map, compass, big key.
If that's the case, we may actually go. Okay, 10 arrows for Thieves Town 1.
-1 point for Fooligan.
Okay, I'm happy. No, David was finally able to get a single point. Good job, David. And we get a map.
One item, first 4.
One item, first 4. That's bad. I think we continue on, honestly. Though after I clear out this area, we're gonna take the warp over by Link's house again.
I'm sorry, I can't help but laugh at Wooligan's snarky comment after losing that point.
What did he say?
You better die a lot of times in NMG.
Yeah, just as a reminder, everyone, this is Game Masters. We do show different ways that you can play games on this show, so we will be having Fant play No Major Glitches after this.
All right. No boots. Still a little sad.
Don't worry, the boots are in Ganon's tower.
Of course they are. So really quick, I'm looking at the items that we need to finish. And we already have enough to clear another crystal dungeon. And we're a mirror and mitts away from being able to do a couple more, so looking pretty good so far. But of course the game's gonna make me go all the way.
Yes, it is.
That is now all the dungeon items. Everything else is an actual challenge.
So the next choice is, which one are you going to give to Fanchez, or which one are you going to give to Spike? That's the next question.
Well, the order I'm going to be doing things in is I'm going to be heading to Blind Cell. That's going to be check number 2, Thieves Town 2. The big chest is going to be Thieves Town 3, and Blind will have Town 4.
Well, you heard it, those of you that are playing along here with the fantasy.
All right, $50 in Thieves Town 2. Not the best.
Don't spend those 2 cents in one place there. So just as a quick note, as we get a piece of heart inside of the big chest right there, this is a 7-7 seed where 7 crystals are needed in order to get into Ganon's tower, and 7 crystals will be needed to defeat Ganon. So it's standard in that regard. It's also standard as the mode of this, where we had to go through the escape sequence as it was.
That is right. Here we go. We're going to be getting our first pendant.
The routing sucks only because you ended up getting only 2 100ths of a point for 1 and 1 for Spike. So there we go.
This fight can be scary, but as long as you know the pattern, know the setup, it's generally simple. And look at that, the
it
hook
turned out to be a
shot
required item.
for Thieves Town 4.
Nuclear
for
reaction,
nukes.
glad that you
Yeah.
finished the dungeon.
And that Nukes, though, has almost caught up to Stinger. Nukes with 20 points. Stinger only 2 points ahead.
Both of them with 4 checks remaining.
You know, Stinger opened up with a lot of points, but it's kind of tapered off in the, last handful of minutes here.
So I am very glad we did dip into Thieves Town and go. That was very, very critical.
And that hookshot opens up a lot more checks in this game. Like, this opens up the right side of Death Mountain.
I'm going to finish Palace of Darkness before heading up there. Since that is a required dungeon, I'll be clearing it anyway. And hopefully... But we can now get up to 5 crystals. Tower of Hera now open. That hookshot.
Yep. So we're about to do this thing called the digging game. And so the digging game in Randomizer, it is randomly between 1 and 30, at which the prize is yielded. So this is the good time for chat to go ahead and put a guess whether or not they believe digs 1 through 30. What number dig is Fant going to get the item on?
Spoilers, it's 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17,
I thought you were
18,
joking.
19. 19 digs. There we go. All right.
Richard thanks you for that 1 point.
Thank
You're
you, Fant.
welcome. You're welcome, Richard. Now, how many people didn't follow directions and picked a number that wasn't between them? Is everybody being good today?
Well, Rel couldn't pick 34, so
Thanks, Railhoon.
It looks like most of the rest of the chat did select numbers that were lower than 30. Lower than or equal to.
yeah, just like
All
Spike's
right.
thanking you for that 10 arrows that makes him lose a point here in this game.
Oh no. Yeah, I feel like Nukes has stolen all of his points.
Yeah, Nuke's nearly 3 times more points than Spike right now.
This is something that's honestly kind of odd. I don't really do this often. That is taking the big bomb to the pyramid on my first trip to pod. And we got the 5-6 crystals very early. We're finding out what's in that pyramid.
And both of those checks go to chat.
And chat gets both of them. Well, get excited, chat. These next 2 are for you.
What is the most amount of points that are still remaining for a single item?
I believe the mirror and boots are the 2 big ones here.
Maybe they'll be side by side.
And in the pyramid, we have a red rupee and a piece of heart.
That's 1.02 points for chat.
Respectable.
Good job, chat. And now we'll find out what's on the pyramid before heading into pod. And it's $300, and I'm actually gonna grab it because
Yeah,
I'm
you
a
need the rupees for
handful
Kiki.
of rupees short for Kiki. Yeah.
Yeah, you need 110 rupees in order to get into the Palace of Darkness. Otherwise, Kiki runs away and pretty much makes note that you are very, very broke.
Yes. But we need to employ Kiki's services in order to beat this seed. Like it or not, we're paying up that 110 rupees. It's 10 rupees just, for the meeting, and then 100 rupees complete the job.
And just as a note, if you wind up getting hit between part 1 and part 2, Kiki runs away and you have to pay another 10 rupees to employ the services.
Yep. There we go. 10 rupees taken. Let that Popo jump there for a sec. All right. Here we go. Now, I do wonder, Rick, what do you think Kiki's doing with all this money?
I've been told not to tell.
Wait. Hank, are you employed by Kiki? You have like do you have any black something? What's going on?
Yes. That is all I'm able to say at this point.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to press it any further.
Well, good.
But
Good.
I hope you get out of the situation soon, Rick.
Well, no matter how many times I play this game and pay the 110 rupees, it doesn't turn out to be enough. That's all I can say.
All right. House of Darkness is a pretty simple dungeon, but it has a lot of back and forth to get all the checks. There's a whole bunch of branches at the start that you kind of have to go through. No boots means I'm gonna have to take a little bit of a slower approach here, but it shouldn't be too. thankfully I have the bow. You wonder where those
I already told you, Ganon's Tower.
Cannon's Tower for the boots to get the big key on the torch,
Yes.
potentially. There's the big key for this. I'll make the hammer yump ideal.
I also want to remind everyone, every hour or so here on GDQ Hotfix, we like to take breaks to give everyone an opportunity to stretch, get a drink of water, stuff like that. So probably when Fant's done with this, we'll probably be taking a quick break as we get
I was
into
going to
the second
suggest
half
that.
of this.
Yeah, that'd be a really good time after we beat this dungeon.
And there are a fair amount of pickups in here too, and Stinger really looking at the screen, trying to maintain this lead of 2 points over Nukes. We'll see what happens.
He's waiting for that first item.
Yep, all the dungeon items, and they just keep on coming. There's always at minimum 4 small keys here in the front. And
Yo, that's a big one for Stinger.
Did Stinger have that? Did
That
Stinger
is-
really get
that
the
is
boots
Stinger.
payout? Wow, maybe this is rigged.
Stinger catapulting up to 30 points, 10 points over Nukes right now.
You should
It
have
is
checked the
not
ledge
over
first.
yet. Now we could have fun. Fast. This is what we were waiting for.
Yeah, it would have been the boots no matter what, so. For those of you who are hoping to see Stinger get something but the boots, well, it was going to be the boots no matter what.
All right, I need to lean in here really quick to view some pixels on the screen.
Yeah, it's based on your placement on the screen right there, and he's using the cues based on the positioning on the menu screen with the bomb and certain
Oh,
pixel
wait, I messed it up.
placements.
Is Fant looking at pixels, or it's David's score right now? It's hard to tell. It's David at 1.04 points right now.
Good. That should be.
There we go.
There we go.
Nice second try. First try every time.
Yeah, I must have had a micro adjustment there that got me a pixel off. It is a very precise trick.
All right, Richard, here's your next item. And it's a point for you with the piece of heart.
Not negative. That's what I'm looking for here.
Very good. Couple more items to check here.
Yep, and we're also going to be at least finding one more key.
And I may, depending on what's in these 2 chests, I may not have to go open up the next one.
So a heart container right there that will go to nuclear reaction.
Very good.
So one more item left in this dungeon. We already know that Harmless Hellway is going to be a key for a key.
Yeah, I'm going to take it just so I don't have to backtrack around since I don't have
Yeah.
the mirror. And the final item going to be on Helmasaur King right before break time.
And actually, no.
Oh, wait, do we already have them all?
Yeah.
Oh, no, the compass is
on
there.
Helmasaur.
All right. We're fine. I lied. We're going to get a compass right here. Refilling my HP so I have some sword beams for the next room. Going to push the statue up. Should select my arrows here.
Yeah, by the way, something that we haven't pointed out here is that Fant is using something that is used in the randomizer called Quick Swap, where you use the L and R buttons to scroll through your menu fast.
If you know it well, it saves a ton of time. If you don't know it well, like I do, sometimes it's a little bit difficult. Like I'm gonna go try and find the hammer here, which I have to go right 10 times.
Yeah, the more items you end up getting in that menu of yours, well, the harder Quick Swap becomes. And that right there, the room that he was just in, is the best room to have the sword beams, which is why you want to have full health, both here and in MMG.
All right. A pretty clean turtle room. And now it is time for our good friend, the Helmosaur King.
Yep,
And then
fans going to be
after
counting
this,
to
we'll take a
17.
break.
Why are you counting to 17 for?
Oh, that's how many times I need to hit this face mask.
A little too early
that
on the
didn't
face mask
despawn.
removal by didn't get the despawn, but just a few sword slashes, and Helmosaur King is down. We get the compass, we get the crystal to finish off this dungeon, and Richard will send us to break.
All right. So I'm going to pause or give a countdown to pause. That's after this little cutscene's done. We're out. So stand by. And soon. Okay. 3, 2, 1, pause.
All right, everyone. Yeah, we're just going to take a very quick break. Get up, stretch, get a drink of water. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
All right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Game Masters, where we're showcasing The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past tonight. And I have an announcement before we get back into the run. Feel free to go to youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick and check out an archive of our live shows, as well as any other GDQ things you want to look at. So we're here with Fantasy Randomizer here. We had 12 people before this run start. Draft a bunch of pickups, and everyone gets a different number of points associated with it. If anyone wants to find out what those picks are, you can do !Game Masters in chat, and you can see that there. But with that, we're going to be handing it back to Fan_TV, where he's going to be finishing off this run. Fan, take it away.
All right. So I'm going to give a countdown on go to resume the timer. 3, 2, 1, go.
Last time on Fant Plays the Link to the Past Randomizer Fantasy, he finished off the Helmosaur King and scored some more points for Stinger, who has the lead thanks to those boots that he's going to run real fast with. Now he heads on over towards the mountain where more checks can be found. We're heading to a place called Paradox Cave. Why is it called Paradox Cave?
Well, it's called Paradox Cave because you enter it from a low portion of the mountain, and then you are somehow already above the higher up caves on the mountain. So I'll enter here in this cave, and then I'm falling down, except I'm falling up to the caves above me, and here's a bunch of checks. Let's see if it's anything good. We need only a handful of things. The mirror, for sure, and the Titan's mitts. So I think now we're actually a mirror from Go mode. Well, potentially. We don't know what medallion is needed for Turtle Rock, but we're going to find that out here soon.
Relcon is very, very happy with that check of yours, by the way.
Did Real? Oh my gosh, Real. I want everybody to know this is Realku's first time doing the fantasy draft. Has just been crushing it.
Yeah, they are now in second place.
All right, because I still have no mirror, I'm opting to do all this in Light World first, or heading on a one-way trip to Dark World. So how it's going to work is we're going to check the floating island there. We're going to head over and do Tower of Hera.
You know what?
This
That's
is a
another.
dungeon.
That's another 100th of a point for chat.
Look at that, chat. I'm so proud of you. Getting all those points.
And they're going to have another chance to get some points here with the Ether tablet.
This is a value location here. Could have the mirror.
Magic
got the powder. And, that's not just a fetch quest, that's a decent score. Powder is a very good safety item, and I value that.
That's 3 points for chat.
That pulling ahead of our tracker Felix.
By the way, this dungeon that you're in is called the Tower of Hera, but we should rename this to the Tower of Stinger because he's got both checks in here.
Wow, imagine that. All right, so we got a small key, which sends me to the basement. And we got a compass here, so logically required is the basement. I think that has to be the big key, but I'm going to try and get around that. Just coming up here, doing this.
This is a trick called Hera Pot, where you try to get yourself a little bit of out of bounds there through the bottom left of the pot, just like he just did. Hook shot in, and there you go. Now, there could be an interesting issue here, and that is if there's something inside of that big chest, because we don't have the big key for it.
And there is something in that big chest.
Oh boy.
I think we're gonna leave it for now and opt to not do the tile room, but we're just
That's
gonna
right.
clear it out, and because we could still check a bunch of stuff dark here, and it's not gonna be too much of a pain to get back up here.
Until that's the mirror.
Until that's the mirror. God, now Rick is. Rick, I'm gonna let you make the call. Do I go in there?
Stinger's got enough points already. Skip it.
Skip it. All right, we're gonna skip it. If we last location the mirror, we can all blame Adirondack Rick, my lovely co-commentator here today on the GDQ Hotfix.
I will fully accept that blame, especially considering the fact that I don't have a stake in this fantasy. I'm part of the chat, just like all the rest of the people that are watching here are.
You have a small stake in Ohio, it's David.
Yeah, and
Ever so
I got
slightly.
Link's uncle already out of the way here, so there you go. Anyways, we are here inside of the Spiral Cave, which is also another check here for the lovely little audience here that is watching.
Well, I'm kind of amazed. Chat has so much on Death Mountain,
Yes, they do.
and gonna get a nice
And-
piece of heart there.
Another point for chat.
All right, so we got to remember we do have one check behind at Tower of Hera, but now we're taking that one-way trip to the Dark World up here. We're going to get 6 locations on the way up to Turtle Rock, and we're going to find out what medallion is required. And after this, I'm thinking of heading over to Ice Palace. So it would be very, very nice if I was able to maybe get the mirror and the Cane of Samaria beforehand, because that makes Ice Palace just go a lot. And we'll know if we're a mirror from Go mode here momentarily. But there's a 2 and 3 chance we're already good, and blue rupee, unfortunately. A mushroom, all right. So we have all of the fetch quest items.
Poor Felix losing another 2 points because of that. Wish it was the mushroom that in that chest at that point instead of the 5 rupees.
All right, here we go. Turtle Rock is Quake, the one medallion we don't know the location of. So
Yeah,
we need a
Quake.
mirror and Quake, and we are in Go mode. Could be right here, though. Imagine like the mirror and Quake are just right here. There's
Well, those are
silver
silvers.
arrows. Look at that. And 3 red ruby. All right. So we are now going to head over to Ice Palace. That will be our Crystal 6. Had to save and quit there since, well, no mirror. Who knows where that
Yeah, without the mirror, the only way to get back into the light world from the dark world is to save and quit.
This is what we needed Titan's Mitts for partially, is just to enter Ice Palace. Good thing is we have some green goo on us already, so I don't have to be too concerned about magic usage. If I run out, I could just refill right before the boss.
Yeah, it just would have been nice if you had the mirror. That way you could pick up the bombos as another way of killing things here, but that wasn't meant to be. Neither was it meant to be to have the Cane of Samaria, which, by the way, the Cane of Samaria still could be logically required for this dungeon, and that's under one circumstance. That is, if Cold Stare drops a small key at the end of the fight.
And that could help us narrow down potential locations. Big key. Now, you can do a pretty cool glitch here if you have the Cane of Samaria called Icebreaker. We lack that today, so we're going to have to go show off some other older methods to get through this dungeon fast.
Including one called the Ice Palace Bum Jump, which is something you're going to have to do in a little bit for the NMG run, as it is.
Yep. All right.
So since we're in the second portion of this, you want to go through what the fantasy aspect of the randomizer here is again?
Yep, so 12 people have, before the seed started, picked 12 or 10 locations each from the game. And a location is just a chest or a place an item can be. And, oh, we got the
nice first try.
Bomb jump. There we go. This is good. I've been practicing a lot. I'm happy to make it through there cleanly. And points are scored based on the value of the contents inside the chest. So a valuable item will be worth more points than something like 10 arrows or a bomb pickup, generally favoring progression over anything else.
Now, the one thing is that chat was assigned locations in this game as well, based on what the 12 participants did not choose.
That is right. And, you know, chat's doing pretty dang well here.
Yeah, chat right now is in the middle of the pack.
Even in the top 50% here.
Yeah, if they just get a couple more points, they'll be in fourth place. So very respectable from the leftover picks.
All right, because I did that bomb jump, I have a block here. He'll cold stare with. Let's check it out. I still have some items to find, so we're going back up or heading down. Couple more rooms to check. Have we found even a single item yet in ice?
Well, my sources say no, because there's nothing marked for Ice Palace 1 at this point, which GDQ has been waiting to see what you can get for that first item. Maybe it's here in the room that we call the Ice Tea Room.
Yep, because it's a room shaped like a T, an ice. We're always very creative in the speedrun. I think that's all the small key.
Which, if that's the case, then Cold Stare does not have the small key, which, again, you can use that towards figuring out where the mirror can't be.
All right, just working my way around. This is the backtracking, well, not backtracking, the forward tracking way to go through the dungeon normally to get the big key. And this is what's bypassed by that icebreaker pick. I'll show you where that applies here, fairly. Remember to quick swap to my hammer there. Way back at the beginning of the dungeon, we were in a room, press a switch, and there we go. Item number 1, the bombs. And this is on the other side. With the Cane of Samaria, you can actually clip through this wall and get over here without having to do this big loop all the way around the dungeon.
Cannon Switch is waiting for the next check here. Seeing with 16.02 points, needs a 1 whole point to overtake Richard for 4th place.
And there it is, Quake.
Oh.
Quake has been found, so we are now just a mirror from Go mode. And unfortunately, if you had a check in Swamp Palace, we are not going in there, as mirror is required. Venture in there, and we're going to be in go mode by the time we find that mirror.
And that's unfortunate. And that's unfortunate for Felix, who has 2 checks inside of Swamp Palace.
Oh no, Felix. All right, so the only thing left to do here is eliminate Cold Stare, the final boss. Wouldn't it be great if like the mirror was right here?
And also, by the way, chat, you do not have any checks in Swamp Palace, so you don't have to worry about that sad news. So we can't do anything with that Quake just yet, by the way.
All right.
Decent Cold Stare, though.
Yeah, it's hard to keep them in sync with. Oh my god.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that means Fant is now in go mode.
There it is. All right. Now we have Turtle Rock and Ganon's hour to go.
Renziel now getting a bunch of points from that one.
Yeah, 7 whole points right there.
That's right. Yeah. And for the first time, we can do this. Let's see. And I think we're only using that one more time.
And that was Ren's last check right there. So Ren's will be finishing with 18 points going into Ganon's Tower, which we will discuss in a little bit. But first, we've got to go pick up a few things and get this can of Samaria that's been known for like the last, what is it, about 50 minutes now?
Yeah, roughly. Yep, look at there it is. I'm going to go ahead and just pre-mark that on my tracker. And let's grab it. And with this, we are now officially...
And that's also unfortunate for those who had picks in Misery-Mire as well, because that means Misery-Mire is never going to get touched.
Hammered eventually. There we go. Got Ice Palace with the value here. Just gonna get by these squirrels. If you hit the squirrel, they turn into a statue for a limited time, and you cannot move past them. Like have to despawn them essentially. I menued the wrong way. All right.
By the way, oh hey, David is looking forward to this Turtle Rock with 2 checks in here.
Yeah,
Even
the
though
good
you're
thing
in go
about
mode,
this.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
I was gonna say,
you go ahead.
I was gonna say the good thing about being in go mode is the fact that you can skip some checks, but certain dungeons you still need to have keys in order to progress, and Turtle Rock is one of those, with the 4 small keys and the big key you got to find.
Yep, so you have a good, at least Turtle Rock's like 1 through 3. There are 5 dungeon locations. You have a pretty good chance of seeing those. Now as a heart container, we now have a double-digit heart.
That's 3 points for David.
All right, and we have a new rear of the pack, Vooligen. Fortunately, getting taken out by David there. That pickup. Oh, well, this is awkward.
Yeah, Vooligen, unfortunately, his remaining check is Myers Shed, which I don't think you're going to visit at any point in time.
I don't think I will. Oh, wrong one.
I like seeing you go around in circles like that, though.
Okay, there, we did it that time. I was a little bit too antsy on that fire rod shot, so I had to wait for them to go out again. Get to this. Even if you spend a little bit of time using the quick swap, it's still faster than opening up the menu. So I'm trying to think constantly ahead of what's the next item I need. So I can just think of how many moves I need to get there and just start the process. Oh, dang it. Almost.
Almost. This is a nasty room. Thankfully, you have red mail for this room, but that is still a nasty room. So that big key means that there is going to be one chest inside of this dungeon that you're guaranteed to skip.
That is right. It's the big, we call the lava room chest. It's where the big key normally is, and it's locked behind a small key door. And that's also the latest portion of the dungeon it can be. So as long as you get the big key before that spot, and we'll pass the chest right there. Right there. Everybody wave goodbye to the chest. We're not opening it. What it contains. But we still have to come over here anyway, and what we call like stealing the key. Yeah, I'll kill this pokey here eventually. Get the Benny Hill music going.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to help you with that.
Fine. Just imagine it in your head. So we've stolen the key. We are heading back around. Now I still need to go over here to the big chest in case it has a small key. It's a gamble if you want to skip it and hope it does not have a small key and that it's like later on. I don't want to come all the way back here, fortunately. We're just going to open up now, and you know, if it's a check for somebody, they could get points. And it is. It's a bottle. I believe that is bottle number 3. So we didn't need it, but we got it anyway, and we could release some beads.
Our notes are saying it's bottle number 4.
Bottle number 4. Okay, I didn't track it correctly then.
Which Relkin gets a point for that.
Congratulations,
Relkin in
Relkin.
second place right now.
Second place.
6 points away from Stinger.
So because of the key placement, by the way, we do know that the big key chest or the lava chest would have been a key because you're coming down here with 0 keys, and that also now means that you do have to do laser bridge.
Yep, so there's still a chance I get all the items here. Because I have to go down laser bridge until I find... And here we go.
Next item that is found goes towards David's point score, and I think the next biggest item here is the half magic worth 3 points. But that's just a piece of heart, so there's a point. There's another point for nuclear reaction. If we find the 5th and final item, which is actually going to be on Trinex, nobody gets any points because nobody owns that square.
Try to get this beetle out of the way. Out of here, beetle. Oh no. I'm gonna take a safety here and just blow up this
That's
wall.
a
I don't have to
very
go
good
over here.
idea because taking the walk back is not necessarily fun.
Indeed. We're not gonna do that in the NMG. We're gonna do this, right? Post this, then here.
Now, I remember this chest here being rather infamous for a match that I played against you during the Link to the Past Randomizer League.
This.
Yeah. Vanilla key, which I didn't know I needed.
Yep, and you know, Rick still managed to come out victorious on that one. You know, he may have gotten hit by a couple things, but
You would have beaten me
find
if
some
that
things
key
as
wasn't
well.
there. I would have been like, what the hell? Why can I get to,
you know
why,
what?
how can I not get to Trinex? I thought I had the 4th key.
That Pokey was being a jerk.
Yes, it was.
All right. So Trinex, this is Crystal 7 before we head into Ganon's Tower and we start the GT Big Key guessing game. So
I do want to... Okay, I'm sorry. I am interrupting because you're already bringing it up.
No, I'm going to be beating this boss for a little bit, so have to make. You can talk about what's coming up.
Yes, so there are no selections for Ganon's Tower as far as items are concerned because under most circumstances you're not digging Ganon's Tower to find items. Every once in a while you might be, but there's something else that we're looking for in Ganon's Tower, but first we need to get there, so get through this Trinex fight and make it so we can actually get there, Mr. 2.5 Hearts. Nice spin right there. That's good. That's good.
Trinex, the scary part's always when the right one turns the floor into ice.
Oh, absolutely. So there's going to be 22 checks coming up in this Ganon's Tower. Between those numbers, we will find a big key in one of those 22 checks. So this is where we would do a big key guessing game. And I know there's going to be people throwing numbers into chat. You can go ahead and do so. But we are doing something as far as fantasy is concerned in regards to this big key guessing game. And why don't you explain it?
Yeah, so whoever gets closest to the big key location will be awarded an extra 4 bonus points. What this means is Stinger has enough of a lead and will be finishing the fantasy in first place, so congratulations. Math was impeccable. But between Railcoon, Nuclear Reaction, and Cannon Swift, we have a potential 3-way tie here. If one of them gets the big key, they will become second place, guaranteed. Pretty exciting there. We're going to start and see where it is. So keep count with me. And make sure the trackers are aware of what check we are. Starting here with check number 1, it is a small key. Check number 2 is a heart container. With that small key, I'm going to opt to just head immediately to the right side. You may be asking, everybody picked a location. Manually, through the draft process. So what did chat get? Well, we gave chat the honor of tile room. Will always be the last check done. So if chat, you want your 4 points, you want to hope to see it in tile room.
But
Yeah,
don't,
you want it
don't
in
let
number
that dissuade
22.
you from posting in chat. If you
Yeah,
still
don't
want to
let them-
post in
yeah.
chat, then still say what you think it's going to be.
Absolutely. As a well-timed magic refill there.
Star and Renz are already out with their guesses of 1 and 2. Nuclear Reactions out with a
3.
guess of 3.
6. Okay,
And the
we're through
interest-
6, and we have the butter sword.
And the interesting thing here is that during the draft, all the odd numbers were taken into Village and decided to switch things up and go even.
What a rebel.
I know.
All right. And I think Vuljin, if I remember correctly, had check 8.
That's right.
There's
That's right. Number 8.
7. 7 is the torch. Not getting that. Don't need rupees anymore, especially when you're on 900 hours.
Cannon Swift is eyeballing that number 11 check, though.
And Voligen is 8, Spike Vegeta is 9. Nobody picked 10.
All right, here we go. I go left or right? Left. 8 is a small key. 9, small key. 10 is the big key.
In between Spike and Cannon Swift.
And because Spike Vegeta has the lower number, that means that Spike is the victor of the GT guessing.
And so as you go in to finish this game off, that pretty much cements where this game's going to be, except we are not done just yet because there's one last check that we are going to be able to resolve at the very end of this game.
That is the Master Sword.
And remind us who has the Master Sword pedestal. Oh, that's Cannon Swift.
Potential there for an upset. Depending on what it is.
So as I
I
mentioned
think
before,
if it's half magic, that's enough points to get up to second place.
that would be enough to get to third place.
Third place, okay. Don't do math on stream, folks.
Because Cannon Swift with 21.02 points would overtake Nuclear Reaction with 24 points.
All right, now in the gauntlet section, RNG fest of enemy patterns and movements. Do our best to react to them.
Yes, that's right. Our tech duty of Relkun got second place.
GG's Railcoon. Now, Butter Store is really nice. the most powerful sword in the.
So just as a reminder, as we're starting to wrap things up, as you're going through this gauntlet, how can people play along with this fantasy under normal circumstances? Because you normally do it on your stream.
I do it on my stream every week, provided we have enough signups to fill out a draft. We all like set up a time and do it. Usually it's at around 6 o'clock Pacific. I hit that with the sword. Sorry, I was concentrating there. And yeah, it's open up to anybody. Like you don't have to be a sub. You don't have to be like even a follower. You just have to want to participate. Put in the 30 minutes beforehand to draft your location. Be nice, and that's the only prerequisite.
Be nice.
So
You don't
what
even need
is
to
your
know
stream?
too much
Where-
of the game. I want you to know Realkin has never done this before and is second place. And I think that's so you do not need to know Link to the Past well to have a good time.
You don't
Yeah,
even know
my-
Link to the Past, period.
But yeah, my Twitch is fan_T. Head on over there, and if this piqued your curiosity, you want to participate yourself, draft phase, we'd be happy to have you. We're always looking for more people. Could be
You also have
you
a
could be the
YouTube
one
channel, right,
toppling
fan?
streamer. I do. It's Fan TV without the space. Trying to grow that recently. But on the YouTube train, we're getting there. We're about halfway to like the YouTube partner. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, so go to youtube.com/fantv, twitch.tv/fan_TV if you are interested in any gaming content, because you don't just do Link to the Past, fan. You do a lot of different games.
Yeah, I'm really a variety streamer. I used to do a lot of Fall Guys competitively. Still do play it competitively. And recently I've been doing like a lot of survival games and RPGs. Basically, if there's a game I want to play, I'll try and do it. I want to try this at least once. Dang it. We made it one tile across.
One.
One tile.
You
I'm
said
trying
at
to
least
hover.
one,
It's
so I'm
very
counting the
difficult
amount
to
of
do.
times.
Ah, out of here. You know what? Okay, one more.
See, I knew he wasn't going to stop at one.
Speedrunner mentality. Say one more.
There we go.
Do it 3
All
more
right,
times.
we're through.
Good job, fan.
Get out of here, Moldorm.
Richard, you're supposed to join me in the clapping.
Oh,
Look at this
I
bumper's
was
clapping
on
for
my
me
end.
right there. See? The bumper was just thought that was great. All right, we're on the penultimate fight, Aghanim 2. It's just like Aghanim 1, but we never fought Aghanim.
So speaking
So-
of math, we go into geometry now with this Saga 2 fight.
Yeah, the patterns aren't too friendly here. Oh, the orb from Aghanim himself just got deleted.
Yeah, it's always rude when that happens.
Oh yeah, this is not a great pattern. I'm trying to do my best here, but I've had just 1-1-1-1. I should be able to make this work. Or not. All right, we'll just do a 6 cycle here, or a 7 cycle here. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
We're worried.
There we
fan.
go. We're fine.
I was about to
We're
say, Richard,
through.
we have other things coming up on this channel tonight, right?
Yeah, we definitely do. The next thing is going to be No Major Glitches run by Fan, and we are actually going to be continuing on with Link to the Past, with Challenger approaching afterwards as well, with low percent one-hit KO run by Andy.
Now
So,
that sounds awesome right there.
a lot
one-hit
of Link to the
KO.
Past.
Is so difficult in this game. There's like all the enemy patterns are unpredictable. There's stuff flying everywhere. Every room is filled with so many damage sources.
So look at how many times
One-hit
Fan got
KO.
hit.
Yeah, look. Thank you, Richard.
Wow.
No, thank you for your support.
Savage host here.
We love you, Fan.
Yes, we do. By the way, so Ganon here with the gold sword, 6 slashes to get him into the next phase. There are 4 phases into this fight. This will be phase number 3, where he decides that he's going to warp and be rude and be mean and all that good stuff.
I think every warp is a coin flip. 50-50 of whether he's going to stay where he is or warp to another location. The most I've ever seen, I think, is 37 done on this, where he just kept on going and going.
It's like the
It wasn't by
Energized
me.
Bunny.
That was by our good friend Andy, a number of years ago. Two more silver arrow hits here, and we're done. Be right here. There we go. So time's coming up here. When I walk through this door.
Yep, time is as soon as this thing fades to black.
Couple more seconds here, and
And with that, time.
All right, how did we do?
Just over 131, it looks like.
You win. Congratulations, Stinger, on taking first place here.
So as we mentioned before, we're not done because there's one last check we do need to resolve as far as this this fantasy is concerned, and it's the check here for Cannon Swift, sitting with 21.02 points in 4th place, has a chance, if it's the right item, to move into 3rd place.
Yeah, and don't forget, we have the mushroom as well, which we never turned in. We're gonna find out what that is.
Oh, that's right.
But yeah, so that's fantasy. It's a lot of fun. Even though Stinger won this time, Stinger is pretty good. He has, I think, he doesn't have the high score of all these we've done, but I think he does have the low score, maybe. One of these times, he just didn't have a good run. Found all the negative items. But Railcoon, very new to this, an honorable showing at 2nd place, Nuclear Reaction 3rd place, Can Swift at 4th, Brinziel 5th, ogNdrahciR, aka Richard. Hey, say hi, Richard.
Hello.
At 6th place, GDQ Chat directly in the middle at 7th place. Star in 8th, Spike Vegeta in 9th, Felix in 10th, in 11th, Ohades David in 12th, Hooligan. Thanks everybody for participating in the draft. Hope you all enjoyed the concept. So it's still, we're still improving it all the time and always open for suggestions. Have any?
Fungus for life.
There we go. So that is a heart.
Yeah, as we close out here, a couple announcements before we get into the No Major Glitches run. If you're watching on YouTube, hello from the past, and you'd like to support our live content, please consider checking out our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/GDQ. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe to any Twitch channel of your choice every month for free. Please consider using your Prime Gaming account to subscribe to the GDQ Twitch channel. Get some pretty cool emotes and GDQ lamp.
By the way, Railcon now sitting with 28 points thanks to that heart container being there, which means only 3 points away from Stinger. Just too bad that Railcon doesn't have another check left in this game.
That is incredible. Let me just say, for literally asking how do I do picks right before the draft started to getting 2nd place, that is a very impressive feat by our own tech, Railcoon.
Yep. It's just a shame you didn't go into Swamp Palace to find out what that 3rd item was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can unhide the spoiler log later and we'll go wild and see.
We didn't find out what the pedestal was yet, right?
Watch what that 3rd item be, half magic, and then Railcon would have been the winner.
Oh, that the last minute snipe. Oh. Here we go.
While we wait for the pedestal, oh, well, I guess we'll see it soon. But Rick, where can we find you?
Well, 1 second. Couch
Couch
cash.
cash.
Whoa, that's not great. So
That's
couch
20
cash
bucks?
usually means a red rupee, which is only 2/100ths of a point. And
I
so
got
to
1/100th of a point. is all.
Oh, 1/100th of a point. Never mind. That's right. It's only a 20. That's right. Anyways, to answer Richard's question, where they can find me, I can be found at twitch.tv/@ogNdrahciR.
All right, and with that, we are going to take a quick break and stay tuned for no major glitches. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Game Masters, where we just saw Fant complete a randomizer seed and Stinger PA winning the fantasy draft that we did. So you can see on the player select screen here, Stinger wins in honor of our winner, Stinger. Announcement before we get into the run: if you are excited about Link to the Past content, this is not it for tonight. Challenger Approaching is a show every other Tuesday here, or every other Friday here on GDQ Hotfix, right after either Game Masters or Testing Grounds. So be sure to stay tuned, where we're going to be seeing more Link to the Past after this. And with that, Fant, take it away.
Yep. So this is no longer Randomizer. We're going into the world of speedrunning, where we'll go through the game largely as intended. This category is no major glitches, any %. So also known as like NMG. NMG is a variety of categories, but when you say it, like most people will know as NMG, any %. It's the most popular category for Link to the Past, and I'm going to try and go through it fast. Once more, to help me out here is going to be ogNdrahciR, helping me explain the routing and strategy. We're actually very close on our PB. Maybe 2 day. Anyway, I'm ready to start. Ready to accept the countdown.
Absolutely.
All right. On go. 3, 2, 1.
What do you mean you'll maybe have a good run this time?
I don't know. I've been practicing a lot for this.
Yes, you sure have. But the way I took that was maybe I might bop your time tonight.
Oh, I've already done that, Rick. Don't you worry.
Okay, good.
Unless you got a PB recently.
Oh,
All right. And out we go. So we have to, this may look familiar as we saw this during the randomizer opening, but now we have all the cutscenes enabled and it's the game as it looks if you're playing the Japanese 1.0 version of the game. There's a whole variety of reasons why we have to play on this version.
and we'll discuss some of those reasons coming up during the path of this, but we have a few text boxes that we need to go through here. We get the sword from the uncle, and of course, the first real difference you saw was that Fant skipped the chest at Link's house. He's also skipping that chest that's to the right, where after you exit the room with the uncle, as we make our way to the castle. And so we're going to be picking up 3 things inside of this actually 4 things during this Hyrule Castle portion. Hopefully, not one be a map.
Yeah, hopefully I don't open up chests I don't have to. One of those chests right here, I will not be opening up. I think this one is the map, right?
Yes, that's correct. That's why I said hopefully not a map.
Exactly. So that's a hard habit to break. I kind of did not do Link to the Past speedrunning until well after I had sunk 1,000 hours into Link to the Past Randomizer. And there's a lot of muscle memory you build up, when you play anything a lot. And one of those, at least for Randomizer, is just opening up everything. And that was one of the #1 habits I needed to break, is I don't need to open up most of this stuff.
So we're going to open up this chest right here. This has the blue boomerang in here, and that is going to be to help out with a couple of things, normally picking up items.
Yeah, the blue
Like you said with
boomerang
that key.
are very useful. Save a little bit of time by booming the key instead of walking over there to pick it up.
So we got to deal with the ball and chain guard here. 8 sword slashes are going to be killing it.
All right. I'm going to get up a safety heart because I took 2 hits there.
Do that because you don't want to take a death through here. And of course, we save Princess Zelda. But we do need to open up this chest right here because if you do not open up this chest, Zelda's not going to allow you to progress into the sewers portion without that lamp.
Indeed. Yeah, the game is kind enough to offer you multiple locations to pick up that lamp. That's actually an item and kind of like a really interesting way they designed this game, where that lamp can be in a number of different locations. 2 of them are optional, and then that's like the one where, okay, if you've missed the chests up until this point, you're getting it here. So just to ensure the player picks up the lamp.
Yeah, the other 2 locations would be at Link's house, as well as that chest that is to the right of the uncle. But that one is the fastest one to get because you're already there with Princess Zelda, so therefore you can open up the chest right after you get done talking to her. And so we've got 2 more chests that we're going to be opening up here in this escape sequence. The first one's going to be in the room that we call Dark Cross because that's going to have the key to get you into the back of the sewers. And then the other one is going to be a nice heart container at the end of this road.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a time loss going for that heart container, but it's a very, very nice heart container to have because it increases the number of hits you can take to some bosses later on by 1. Just having that work. So
Yeah,
all these
especially
text boxes you have to mash through because if you hit a button to progress the text on a specific frame, it will start the next text faster. So every single time there's a cutscene, I'm mashing all the buttons.
Yeah, and that's a general strategy for a lot of people who run this game is that you're going to be hearing them hit pretty much every single button between Y, X, B, and A on their controller in order to make that text box move as fast as possible.
Use that boomerang to stun that snake there. Get on by without issue.
Yeah, that rope in between, that room of the ropes between the 2 floors can also be a big place where having the boomerang is a nice thing. Also, this upcoming room here with the what we call the key rat is another good place to have that boomerang.
Okay, friendly RNG on the rat.
Yeah, because that rat can sometimes decide he's going to go in a whole bunch of different directions that you don't need him to go with. As you can see, Fant is hugging that wall over there, and that's because those keys drop down towards the southeast of where Link is. So therefore, you know you're safe in that spot. Of course, the rats, they can get in the way, so they can make it so you can't. And you also see one other thing that Fant did is he moved immediately to the right, coming out of that door here into this final room with the pull lever that he has to pull in order to open up the door. That is to skip a text box that Zelda prompts to say, hey, you got to pull the lever in order to get through this next room.
Yeah, but we know where that lever is. When Zelda sees, oh, you're heading that direction already, I guess I don't need to say. How nice of her.
So a little bit of a text mashing through here at the end of the escape.
Oh.
And you want to always make sure that when you're done mashing the buttons that you don't accidentally answer, no, I do not understand, because these NPCs, they like to repeat every single word that they say.
Yeah, you thought it started in Ocarina of Time with the owl? No. Nintendo's been at it for a number of years.
Since 1991, to be exact. So the no major glitches here is going to be one of the categories where save and quit is prohibited, so you can't use the save and quit to go to Link's house before heading on over to Eastern. So we're gonna see Fant make this walk over here towards Eastern Palace.
You may be wondering, why would save and quits not be allowed? And it's really just a fundamental goal of the run to see most of the game. And if you save and quit, there's a lot of interesting movement pathing you have to do and take into consideration to go between dungeons that really is quite interesting. And saving and quitting kind of removes that and goes against the spirits of the category, so to speak.
Now, there are a few categories in the speedrunning realm for Late to the Past in which you can do save and quits, but they are few and far between. Like, for instance, the very minimal magical sword, or the master sword rather, getting to the pedestal is a save and quit category. And there's a few other ones out there as well.
Yep. Yeah, there's no shortage of categories for Link to the Past there. This may be the most popular one, but there's a lot of really, really interesting runs out there.
So any percent is the most popular of the categories, and that's because 100%, well, let's just say that there's a few annoying things about 100%, including that digging game that we played earlier during Randomizer. Well, it could be anywhere between digs 15 and 75, so therefore that's annoying. And that chess game, well, that could be fun too.
Yep. It's not the RNG was kind of fixed for the randomizer to guarantee that you get an item within X number of attempts. For the chess game, it was like, oh, you will get this on your second chest every time.
So there's a reason why you want to pick up the Sanctuary Heart, especially if you're beginning out on this. Now, of course, if you're doing world record shreds, you may not opt to get that Sanctuary Heart. And that's because we're going to be taking some damage coming up in just a couple of rooms.
Yep, see that momentarily. Also, we got a big 20 pickup here. That's really important for the rupee routing early. Allow me to skip a check later. And like Rick was saying, the damage boost room is coming right here. It's gonna kill trap and then take 2 hits to dive inside.
Yeah, the alternate route there is to go ahead and take a half of a heart damage off the enemy that's on the right-hand side to boost you through the anti-fairies. But if you wind up not getting it, then you could wind up losing a bunch of time. And at this stage in the run, you only have 4 hearts maximum.
Yeah, everything basically deals 1 heart of damage to you at this point. So it's not... It can be scary a lot of the time.
So into this room here, fire off the single arrow there and just watch out for the other Igor, which if he decides to get in your way, that's another heart you could lose, and you don't really want to do so. You can get a spare heart in this room if you choose to do so in that bottom right pot. Otherwise, you're going to make your way over towards where the bow is totally required for this dungeon, and that is the red Igor, which can only be defeated by the bow and arrow. Rough RNG
I'm not doing good on this room, am I? That's 2 for 2 failures.
Yeah, you had a rough RNG setup here with these Staphos. The best RNG is where they come toward, they end up going in the opposite directions, but they're right amongst the same, I believe, the X-axis of Link, or the Y-axis, whatever it is there, that can allow you to fire arrows at them very, very fast.
Oh no, I missed my timing there. I gotta do this the slow way.
And the idea here is that you want to try to keep as many arrows as possible, because we're going to be coming up to a very, very arrow-hungry boss coming up in just a few minutes after we're done with this.
Yeah, it was unfortunate there, so I have 4 arrows. I'll be picking up some more. May have to do some sword spins here.
So now that we're done getting the green pendant, we can show our worthiness to Sahasrahla, who's going to give us a particular item that we're going to be using to go real fast. And that item is part of the reason why runners use the 1.0 Japanese card for this game.
Yep, and here we go. They are none other than...
Wait for it.
Wait for it. Boots.
There they are.
And now the run can begin.
You know, you warned me that you were
like the
going to use
boots
that
that we're
phrase
running.
before we were discussing this, and I groaned at that point, and I still groaned.
That's the goal. Immediately taking advantage of that by activating this glitch called spin speed. Gives you the boot states, but you can run in more than a straight line.
Yeah, and there's a lot of places where having the spin speed, as we call it, allowing you to run in diagonal movements, can save you time over the course of this run.
One of them coming up here called the unholy spin speed that has the potential to save half a second if I do it perfectly. If I do it. I'd say that saved time right there.
That's a pretty decent spin speed, I would say so.
Get some flack from my friends for going for that. But it saves time. That's 30 whole frames.
I know we had this comment when we were doing Randomizer, but I made the we'll make this comment again. You gotta save those frames.
Indeed. Amazed I didn't get shot on my dash there. Cut it a little bit too close to that guard.
And a lot of the ability to get yourself a better time in this game comes down to how well you can move, especially with those boots, knowing the proper dash lines, knowing where you're going to bump into things if you aren't on the right lines, knowing where enemies are going to be.
Well, this is this cactus dash here where you try and get as close to these cactuses as you can without hitting them.
I'd say that's a pretty good cactus dash.
All right, and now we are in desert.
Well, we are.
Well, not, yeah, almost. I'm gonna be collecting some rupee pots, or not rupee pots, some arrow pots here to build up for the fight. This is gonna be where all my arrows get launched at Lamola's here. A very RNG dependent boss. One of the, I find, the hardest bosses to optimize consistently.
Yes, because the boss fight changes from run to run pretty much because of the RNG attached to it.
Yeah. All the bosses in this game do have RNG, but usually you can control for it quite well. And you can do it for the most part on this one as well, at least in the opener. But after that, after the opening salvo, it becomes very difficult to execute cleanly. Collected our big key. Now we are heading over to pick up next item. That is the power glove.
I'm surprised you didn't get those arrows in that pot.
Oh shoot, I should have gotten them. I backtracked, I was like, no, my fate is sealed.
Just
I should
remember
have
there's
gotten those
arrows in one of these pots in this room too. Yeah.
Yep. Definitely getting these.
Yep.
It's okay, there's a backup arrow pot I can get. Thanks for reminding me, Rick.
I'm here for the success of this run.
I hope to not disappoint everybody. There's an arrow
Well, if you
pot
didn't disappoint me
right
with that
down
pun
here.
earlier, then I think you're pretty well set.
There we go. 24 arrows should be enough.
Well, that's all right. I mean, you can get 5 more arrows coming up before you get to Lamo if you need them.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna set up a whole bunch of things called key dashes where we just dash through a key door without bonking off of it. Opens and we run right through. There's setups that you have to do for most of those because there's like this weird like secondary placements of where Link can be called the grid.
Yeah, it's a 4x4 grid.
Where you need
And
to
running
be
the things like the
on it.
torches, getting adjusted by things like the torches there help you align up with that 4x4 grid too.
Yeah, like arrows, and these were parts.
Yeah, and you're gonna want
Just get those just in
because
case.
Lamo can hit you like a truck, and so can this Igor.
opted for a little bit of safety here. Equip the bow, and here we go.
So you're going to dash into the wall right there. That's to align yourself for the first part of this fight to get as many arrows onto the first two ammo heads.
Ooh, the unfortunate patterns. I am not doing well.
You know, when I have a fight like this, they usually tell me about Link's crossbow training, but nonetheless, you did finish the fight, you did not die, and you got the second pendant, and we're about ready to do another trick of this game. It's called fake flippers.
Indeed it is. Why is it called fake flippers?
Well, because you don't have the flippers yet, but you're going to dive into water. Amazing how that works.
It truly is. And the reason why it works is like kind of like so it's an incredible combination of like unintended effects of the graphics. I can't quite explain it well. Like that's a whole video on its own of how this fake flipper glitch works. But the important thing is it just works.
Simply put, the game checks to see whether or not you have the flippers on like the first frame, or not on the very first frame, but you're already in water, so the game's going, hey, you're in water? I guess you must have the flippers.
All right. Aiming and hitting these little portals is honestly one of the hardest movement things in the game.
I'd say that was a pretty successful fake flippering, so you're doing pretty good.
Ah. All right. Now we're heading up the mountain.
So somebody in chat was asking why Japanese, and the answer, simply put, is that some of the glitches that we're performing on this game are not valid on the US version of this game. So as such, things like the spin speed and the fake flippers, well, you're going to want to be able to pull them off in order to save you some time by way of playing with the Japanese ROM. Or the Japanese cart, rather.
Yeah, most of the glitches that we use run are patched in the US version.
And by the way, as you notice, when Fant was trying to dash with the old man, he will not go any faster. That's because you are set to move at the speed of 1 at all times when you're with the old man.
Yeah, I kind of like was in rando mode. Like, okay. trying to separate them in your head can be a little difficult sometimes. Using that spin speed again to get up here really fast.
So we're going to head into this next dungeon for the Tower of Hera. And this time, we are not going to do some sort of trick in order to bypass the tile room. Fant is going to have to do the tile room.
To my dismay, yes, we do. So we're coming down here to pick up the key. You guessed it. The tile room.
It's okay, you need a break.
Do a little optimization there of dash in and
That's a pretty sick optimization.
the switch. You could do something similar here with a very creative and difficult boomerang throw to get on the blue pegs. I will not be going for it because it's really difficult. If you don't get it first try, you're just bleeding time every time you go for it.
And while we're waiting for these tiles to throw up, I'll turn over to Richard. Do you have anything you want to plug?
You know, I want to talk about Fant_TV. If you're liking what you're seeing, you should go to twitch.tv/Fant_TV and follow him. Check out all of the different games that he plays. Fant, what do you play on stream?
Well, right now, a lot of Link to the Past. Doing a whole bunch of like just RPGs in general. I've been playing through the right series. A lot of fun. I'm gonna opt here to really quick just take a death warp to the top, just in case things go south.
Well, make sure you get that big key first.
Yeah, exactly. And
So I do want
Let's
to
get up here real
ask,
quick.
what is your goal, fan? What is your goal for this category?
my goal in this category right now is to beat Stinger, who
That's a pretty
who
solid goal.
ran
What is
who just won the the fantasy that we just did.
and what is Fan's time in this category? Rather, what is Stinger's time?
1:30 Stingers is a 1:29:55, I believe. And I just started recently, but I'm at a 1:37. But you know, we're still very, very fresh to this.
You're right there, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to set ourselves up for a bomb jump with that one bomb that we have. Line ourselves up at the right spot, and boom. This allows you to get the Moon Pearl without having to go upstairs and deal with that puzzle. And it saves a little bit of time. We will be seeing 2 more bomb jumps over the course of this run.
Yeah, I don't think I needed to do the dash there. I think I did hit the correct pixel, but
Yeah, you look like you
just
were
wanted to
perfectly set up.
just wanted to be certain. All
I
right.
usually base it on Link's head positioning with the opening of the drop down to the floor.
Oh, no.
So
Okay.
here we go. Here is Moldorm, and this is 6 fighter sword slashes in order to kill it. 5th slash will begin the rage mode. Nice dash through it. Another nice dash. That's 4, 5, and it's time to go fast.
Oh, okay. All right. That was
Nice,
spooky.
nice.
That was spooky.
That was not scary at all.
It definitely was scary.
So we got our 3 pendants. What does that mean?
I'm just gonna go to the Master Sword pedestal. Wonder what would be waiting for us there at the Master Sword pedestal. What are we gonna pull out of the Master Sword pedestal? I'll give you one guess.
One guess? Hammer?
No, we're gonna pull out. Believe it or not, Master Sword, because this is not Randomizer Adirondack Rig.
Oh, okay.
He sounded so sad. All right, I'm gonna opt to get this arrow pot here.
And the reason
And,
you're doing that is to set yourself up for Aghanim's Tower coming up in just a few moments. And you're going to also do one other thing before you go to Agha's Tower, and that is try to get yourself to the 110 rupees that you need for Kiki. So
That is correct.
one thing to know is that the tier of the tree poles are based on how many kills you have and whether or not you've taken damage. Right now, we are sitting at 3 without taking any damage after killing that crab.
And we need
The
to get one
tiers
more
are-
kill.
After 1 kill, after 4 kills, no damage, or after 4 kills and you take damage. And it depends on how many rupees you end up having spawn from these trees. If you take the 1 item or the 1 kill, it's 4 single rupees. If you get hit with the 4 kills, it's 5 rupee pieces times 4 for 20 rupees. But get there, kill 4 enemies without taking any damage, you get 80 rupees in all. 4 20s.
And we're gonna hopefully not take damage. There's one more enemy I need to kill, which has a little bit of a precise dash timing. And if we get it, we'll have no issues. If I get hit by it by dashing at the wrong time, we can.
Yeah, you have to go into backup strats.
Yeah, there's a couple. Oh, not open up the map. The map is not a backup strat. This is the thing right here.
There you go. That's your 4th, and now you can get to the tree pole.
And that tree pole is right down here. Just pull
Yep.
this. And look at
And there's
our
your
money.
20s. And now you have more than enough for Kiki coming up when we get done with Agha's Tower.
Which is our next destination. We're gonna get there via a screen that almost never gets seen in regular randomizer. That's this screen right here. There's no items here. You may have seen me slow down on that fence post there. That was intentional in order to not bonk further down. But now we're back here and we're heading up to Aghanim.
So Agus Tower is 7 floors of a whole lot of fun here. Actually, 6 floors of a whole lot of fun, starting off with this 2nd floor. And you're going to see a mixture of some arrow strats and some Master Sword strats.
Oh, fortunate.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing here is taking that damage from this ball and chain guard means that you can't use the strategy against these 2 guards in this room where you want to hit them with a sword beam to push them back, and then you do the swing that kills them.
Right, snuck through that dagger guard there.
So a few locations where you're going to dash here, and you want to make sure that when you dash, you do 4 of those 4x4 tiles worth of space in order to maximize the fact that you're going to gain time from your dashes. That's one of those things that some newer runners for this game still got to kind of get themselves used to, is that certain times when they dash, they're not dashing enough squares, where it actually turns out to be a loss of time as opposed to a gain of time.
Yeah, and it's tough to get all of that like down to memory.
So
now, I was able to go for a strat there really quick that I couldn't do with sword beams.
That was a neat strat right there. So we're coming up here to the 5th floor. This is a dangerous one because the enemies on this floor, they like to do 1 heart of damage. So if you take way too much damage from this room, things can get dicey. In this room here, just don't forget the arrows so you can get that for the next dungeon. There you go.
Yeah, good RNG there on the enemy.
Oh yeah, because that one other guard, that other red guard, can sometimes move to the left, so therefore you have to kill him before you can kill the one that contains the key. So as we climb up to the 7th floor of the tower, this is where RNG really comes into play, and we call these the Aghanim 1 blue balls. He's going to throw them at various points here during this upcoming fight. We would prefer as little as possible, but I know chat, they like to pick numbers that are higher on the spectrum. So what are we gonna get?
Guess between 0 and 15. I don't know what the chances are for 15. It's very slim.
I've heard it's happened before.
I've never seen it happen live.
So as we get to this fight here, so this is a 5-section fight, and then it just loops. The first is always going to be a energy ball that you can throw right back at Aghanim, but numbers 2, 3, and 4 have a chance of being the redirectable blue, what we call the blue. Well, I guess I should come up with a better way of saying it, but they're the splittable things. The 5th cycle here is the lightning attack, which you can't do anything and you just want to stay away from it.
We already have 2. How many are we going to get? Also, the first attack after a lightning is always guaranteed to be a reflectable shot. That's 3, 4, already below average. I think the average is 3. 5.
The game is not kidding you.
5 of them already. I think my personal highest is like 9.
I actually like that phrase, blue spears. I like that. I'll take that. I'll borrow that.
6. Are we gonna PB? Not sure if it's possible now.
It's still possible.
7.
Wow.
8. If we beat 9, 9's the highest I've ever gotten. We have 8.
This one's guaranteed not to. Here we go.
Okay, no, we're ending at 8.
You sound depressed,
Yeah,
Richard.
why are you so disappointed? This is not something you want to PB in.
Well, actually, you do want to preview it because that's free time save on your next
Well,
run.
no, okay, true. If we PB
like,
this run, there's going to
We
be a lot
had
of time
Manic
saved here.
Ascendant in chat with 8.
Congratulations, are today's winner.
Woohoo! Text box where you've got to mash and mash and mash.
You know, Manic Ascendant is a regular in GDQ chat because we have so many different hotfix shows, which you can find out about at gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. Shows most days of the week, so you can go there and check out all the shows that we have.
Do another spin speed here to go down those stairs fast and just rock it along.
So we now go to this dungeon called the Palace of Darkness, and so therefore this is where we need the 110 rupees for. And this is also where you want to make sure that you're hitting the right button when Kiki says hi to you. You don't want to say no.
That would be bad, indeed. We'll do our best to press A right here. All right, here we go. And we pressed A. We made it through.
Congratulations. Now don't mess
Thank
up.
you. Yeah, same thing applies. If I take damage, I'll have to go get Kiki again.
So the Palace of Darkness is going to be one of those dungeons where you route it in a particular way, and the reason why you're going to route it in a particular way is because of that bomb count that is currently sitting at 1.
Yeah, we need bombs. And House of Darkness is our friend. Bombs. There's this bomb.
And shortly we're going to be coming up to our next major trick of this, which we call the hammer yump, and I'll go ahead and talk about that once we get the big key. But you notice fans picking up some spare bombs here, which we're going to be needing for most parts of this run. We end up getting this key first, because this will allow us to mirror and get even more bombs prior to getting the big key chest coming up in just a few moments.
Right here, yeah. I opted to get an extra bomb there for something coming up later. Hopefully, we won't have to worry about it too much. Placing that bomb in such a way where I instantly fall down. Placed it a little bit too early, but
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine.
You'll get that heart back coming up a little bit later on, providing you don't take any more damage. So we're going to get this big key. And as we make our way over towards this next section, we are going to be doing the hammer yump. And if you saw earlier, it is a positioning on a particular spot inside of that room where the big chest is to align yourself up to pull the jump. And it's kind of picky on where you need to be for that jump, but you can use markings on the wall and markings on the floor to help you out where you need to stand.
Yep, here we go. A little bit high. One more pixel. One overshot. One. Okay. Oh. Can we recover? No, shoot. I actually threw my bomb up the wrong way. We can just reset and try again.
Now this has one unfortunate side effect to it, which we'll get to in just a moment.
I think this is good.
There you go. And
Maybe I'll
some
get
runners
lucky and
will
get a
call-
heart drop somewhere.
Yeah, and some runners like to call that the MC hammer. That's because of the text that pops up there about the MC when you pick up the hammer. So as Fan just mentioned, hoping to get a heart drop, and that's because in the room where you push the statue, there are 3 hearts in that room. We want to really have that beam sword in order to make things look a little easier for us when we get to the first of the dark rooms.
Yeah, unfortunately, don't think we're gonna get it. pushing the statue up, and I have exactly 4 arrows. Just as much as I need. I'm opting to take it a little bit safe here. I'm going to opt to also get these 10. Is this a heart? We're good on arrows.
Just a little wide to the right there on that arrow shot there.
Yeah, usually I use sword beams there to hit it, but we're just 1 heart short. It's gonna also make the boss here very scary. I want to take my time.
Yeah, the major thing with the sword beams is that he would have been able to save this menu here from moving from the hammer to the bow, then back to the hammer. That would have saved him the menu in that first of the dark rooms. Nice hesitation on the beetles right there.
Yeah, I had to wait for them. I wouldn't been able to get them both.
Because heading into the Helmsar King, so the way the Helmsar King's going to end up going is if he decides that he's going to give you a hug or whip you with a tail, you lose 2 hearts. We don't have a whole lot of hearts for this upcoming fight.
Just gonna take it slow because I don't want to die here.
Yeah, with 3 hits remaining before the 3 hits before the mask came off, it was good to wait out that fireball. Now this is where the fight gets tricky because he can do both attacks at the very same time with the tail as well as the fireballs. You've got this. There you go.
Normally I do hammer strats there, but a death on this is a big time loss. I don't want to subject anybody to that. So. And
the thing is that if he ends up hugging Helmsar at that point, he loses 2 hearts. And being at 4 hearts, that pretty much means 1 hit, and he is pretty much on 1 hit knockout at that stage. And that's not a good place to be for a fight like that.
Speaking of 1 hit knockouts, if you're not done with Link to the Past with the fantasy run and this NMG run, because after this, Richard, what do we have?
Yeah, we have Challenger Approaching. That's a show hosted by 8F that shows off challenge runs of various games. And this week we decided to have a theme of A Link to the Past, where Andy's going to be running 1-hit KO low %. So, we saw a bunch of pickups in Randomizer. What about we pick up as few things as possible?
Before coming on to this, I didn't know that's who I was. Oh shoot! Oh man, I hate that. I hate that enemy. Get hit all the time. I didn't know I was gonna get shown up like that after this with them coming on.
You are doing great right now, fan.
Right. All right, I took a casual 5 hearts of damage there. Don't worry about it. All right. The Dark World traversal is terrifying. I'm going to opt to do another Death Warp in Thieves Town to prevent a potential catastrophic scenario. All right.
Yeah,
so
before you end up doing that, here we're going to talk to this one NPC who's going to give us a shovel for us to get a flute, which we are going to use to travel around the world a little bit faster, but we also need this for later on as well.
Yeah, we can go activate that immediately.
And fans still needs to be careful here because we have a guard who in the NMG community is named Usain Bolt because he's a red guard that will charge at you instantly, and he is a very, very fast mover. And if you don't have the right setup, he can make your life miserable on this screen right here. And nice going right by him.
Yeah, that was good. Not today, Usain Bolt. Not today. Now we can activate the flute. Here we are.
And for those who want to speed run this and they want to get safeties like the mushroom, this is where you would branch off the main path and make a visit over towards the potion shop and turn in that mushroom because you could use that on the anti-fairies coming up in the next dungeon.
You know what? Yes. I think that heart's gonna save me. Very good. Need a couple more and I should be set.
All right, while you're going through this, I do want to say, if anyone's watching on YouTube, feel free to press the pause button and watch the AGDQ 2019 pre-show, where you can actually also see Fant TV for a very brief segment in time.
A tiny, tiny bit.
Yeah.
AGDQ 2019, huh?
Yeah, Fant was in the pre-show for that. He was also one of the interview producers working on it.
Yeah, it's always our big hectic project every event, and no difference either with these online events we've been doing because the pandemic. We always put a lot of effort, so it's always good hearing feedback on them and if people like them. And I think the reception's generally been pretty good, and seeing people like laugh at the jokes, like, okay, good, they're laughing at it. Good, I thought that joke wasn't gonna land, and then it does. It's just a wonderful feeling.
AGDQ 2019 was my first in-person appearance at AGDQ, which was nice over there in Rockville, Maryland. Sadly, I couldn't stay there long enough to be there for Zelna's run of Link to the Past.
Gonna opt to get this heart here for the Hellway coming up. All right. Coming up is a room called the Hellway because there's just a lot of stuff everywhere. And ideally, I thought I was gonna get it. I had the pixel lineup, but the Patrick Star, those little big blobs of pink, decided, no, you're not gonna get up there. Fine, we're through the hard part. Kill that cricket for later. The whole point of coming up here is just to open up this little floor. There, okay.
Yeah, our job for this dungeon is to illuminate Blind's life by way of opening up the ceiling.
I remember this just being mind-blowing when I played through this the first time. It's like, oh my gosh, that's the boss? Incredible.
Well, you told me to take you outside.
Yeah. I remember not bombing that wall and having a rough time because of it.
You did mention that you started running NMG very recently. What made you want to run it?
Well, it's been a project of mine for a while, or not really a project, just a desire of mine for a while. And I got like busy with like the partner grind, doing all that. And finally, that all that's done, like I'm just starting to do a lot of the stuff I really want to do. This has been on the list for a long time.
Nice.
And finally, we're here doing it. So.
And if anyone
I'm
wants
happy to show
watch
this
Fant,
off here.
go follow him. Fant_TV.
All right, I pick up some arrows here.
Yeah, Fan has mentioned that his goal is to get the sub 90 in this game. And so at 137, he's getting closer and closer. And on this grind, who knows? It could be happening sometime in March.
B. All right,
There's
so
still a
here's the
couple days
blind
left in
fight.
February.
As long as I get phase 1 and 2 down, this isn't too scary. Faced the wrong direction there, so now it's a little bit scary. A little bit scary. And we're fine. We are perfectly fine. I had exactly as much health as I needed. That was planned, down to every hit of intentional damage right there. And we're on to this fight. So we have a little bit of an extended overworld segment coming up here, where we have to go get the Tempered Sword. The first opportunity to get it. We didn't need it for Pod because we couldn't get it there. We don't use it for Thieves Town because Blind doesn't take bonus damage from any sword upgrade. So a Fighter Sword does the same amount of damage as the Butter Sword, 9 hits. And coming up though, Mothula, boss of Skullwoods, and everything after this point, the Tempered Sword is very beneficial and saves a lot of time. So we're gonna get that now.
But before we do that, we're going to be getting this, and this is a cave that can change based on what order you grab things. If you didn't grab a boomerang earlier, that turns out to be your red boomerang, but here it's 300 rupees, which will help us fund a purchase that's going to be coming up after we're done with Skull Woods.
Yeah. Talk to our friend, the Frog. Is actually one of our beloved blacksmiths who's upgrading our sword. All right. I'm glad we're through Thieves Town. I want to say I've never had a deathless Thieves Town in a run yet. That's a first.
Congrats.
Largely because of that 5 hearts of damage I keep taking on the way over. That's why, no saving and quitting makes it pretty tough. So many text boxes there. Now we don't have a sword, but thankfully the blacksmiths, the Hyrule, are quick workers. We just go one screen over, come back, they're done. Look at that.
Throw that up
Nice.
in the air, and there you go. So,
Nice.
as you noticed, Fant has opted to leave his portal on the other side of the heavy stone, and it's been determined that that actually does save you a little bit of time by leaving your portal on that side.
All right, now we're dipping into this house really quick. Get our last rupee pickup of the game. That, we are set. And onwards to Skullwoods. Have to get there at this one. Friendly iron RNG on that enemy. Not on that. That wasn't RNG.
It was
that was actually
friendly. It was friendly RNG, but it was an unfriendly bonk.
yes. You know what? I'm gonna take that fairy.
That was friendly
sign.
RNG right there.
That, yeah, we made up for it. All right, now it's time for everybody's favorite room in the game.
And this is another room that if you have the boomerang, you can actually use it towards your advantage if you have a little bit of an issue with these Gibdos, because they do get stunned by the boomerang. Oh, that's a great placement for that. Oh, how did you not get grabbed?
Practice. Lots of practice. You know what? I'm probably gonna have to do another health refill. Here, no, let's just do it now, instead of waiting for the hand to grab me. Get some stuff. I have to do a couple damage boosts coming up. That also takes me out here. Yeah, that Gibdo is pretty rude. I've never had one go quite like that.
And that damage that you're mentioning here is another reason why we need some bombs. And I'm actually, when I was counting the bomb jumps, I actually forgot this one. I don't know why, but we need that to jump over the barrier to get that fire rod.
Yep, got it first try, which is good. I opted to bonk there to save on health, just in case. Oh, you know what? Look at that. We got the fairy again.
And those are 50-50 drops.
All right, we should be very good now for the rest of school.
You've got this.
All right. Yeah, this game has some very cruel RNGs. Sometimes not so cruel.
Yeah, Mr. 8 Aga Blue Blue whatever we called those things.
Yeah, this is just the game making up for Aghanim. All right. I'm glad we got through that room cleanly. Every movement there is very precise, because one mistake and you're just getting hit all over the place. No, I'm just gonna opt to use my fire rod on that enemy.
Yeah, the optimal strat is to knock the Gibdo into the spike, which would be an auto kill for it. It didn't want to cooperate. So here we go against Mothula. Nice little dash there to get one hit on him. Fire rod to get him away from the spikes, but now he's trying to camp out over there.
Camping out indeed. Get down from there, Mothula.
Patience is a virtue.
Oh no! Oh no. This is not ideal. That was really unfriendly from Mothula there, just sticking up there.
So the unfortunate thing here for Fan is that now that with his death, he's going to have to restock his magic as well as his heart. More the magic because we need to light these torches again.
But Gibdos are on the magic pack, so I just needed to do one of those. Yeah, that was really unfortunate there. But this is one of the least punishing boss deaths. It doesn't take too long to get back.
Yeah, nice waiting out for the Wallmaster to drop down there. Because if you fall in the hole and the Wallmaster comes and gets you, you're back to start. We mentioned those 1.0 tricks. Well, that's one of the unfortunate 1.0s where you end up getting grabbed by the Wallmaster while you're already in the hole.
Yep, you can take damage from it too.
Yeah, that's the other bad thing about a 1.0. Nice second Mothula, by the way.
Yeah, much friendlier RNG there. Didn't hug the top of the spikes. That was, you know, a lapse on my part. I was not paying attention to my health.
Yeah, and you got right into the path of the beam too when he started firing that at you.
All right, but Skullwoods is done.
So it's time to do a little bit of a shopping trip here.
Shopping trip part 2. All that money we got this moment.
The Dark World really is put into like 4 different item acquisition modes. You've got the section after the pod where you get the flute. You have the section after Thieves Town where you get the tempered sword. Here we're going to be getting ourselves the flippers and the quake, and then there's going to be the 4th one coming up in a little bit. So now that we beat Aghanim, the portal at the castle gate is open to us. We can go this direction and get ourselves into the Dark World to set up our next portion of this, where we are going to grab the quake from a thing called Catfish.
Yep, there we go. This
And
couples well
as-
with getting the flippers.
Yep. And as Fan makes his way over to Catfish, if Richard has anything he wants to plug here, now would be the great time to do so.
Yeah, and I just want to say if anyone's watching on YouTube and you want to check out our live content, consider checking us out at twitch.tv/GDQ. And if anyone has Amazon Prime, that means you also have Prime Gaming. And with Prime Gaming, you can sub to any channel of your choice every month for free. So please consider using that on the GDQ channel, because your subs, gift subs, Amazon Prime subs, it's cheered on the GDQ channel directly help support our weekly hotfix content.
And there's a lot of stuff you have in the hotfix as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff almost every day of the week.
So we end up getting the Quake from Catfish there. You saw the Fan end up bonking into the wall to try to set him up for a quick warp, which is you get yourself freed up to move faster after you do a mirror or a portal into the Dark World.
Yeah, there's quick warps at all the warp locations. Some of them easier than others to obtain, depending on what kind of geometry you have to base it off of. Because coming up next is Ice Palace. We'll get into more spooky things later.
Pretty much anything to do with Dark World dungeons can be very, very spooky because the enemies, they hit you for a lot of damage, and the boss of Ice Palace is no different. So one of the things about No Major Glitches is that it's not just one category. We are doing the 80% category, which is the most popular category, but there's also a 100% where you have to get all of the items, including the mirror shield, all 24 heart pieces, and heart containers and whatnot. There's also a low percent, which now breaks down into two different categories. There's a traditional low percent, which they now call Legacy, where the only heart containers you get are the ones that the boss pick up, or the bosses drop at the end of the dungeons. That was for the longest time, the only low percent, and now there's a new one where you finish the game with 3 hearts.
All right, here we are, Ice Palace. For me, this is the scariest part of the run.
Why is this the scariest part of the run?
This is the scariest part because everything in here hits like a truck. All the enemies. It's very long to get back to the boss, and we still are on green mail.
Now, there is a mail upgrade in this dungeon, but it takes a whole lot of time to go grab.
Definitely not worth it. Right? Got a good setup there. I'm gonna opt to get a couple extra bombs here in case I mess up the bomb jump, which you saw me do in the randomizer run.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of a moment here so you can concentrate on this because of the fact that your bomb count is what it is. So here you go.
Mm-hmm. Should be good.
Nice readjustments. I knew you went down too far after that first try and you readjusted yourself. Good job.
Yeah, you can do sword buffers there to get buyets, or dash buffers, or any number of things. But I really wanted to use the pause buffers just to ensure I didn't run out of time. Wait for this. I'm gonna try and do a stair clip here.
Yeah, you tried doing this in the randomizer. Didn't quite work out the way, but you got it there. Nice job.
Link to the Past is a silly game. All right, the only other obstacle now is the boss.
Yeah, and Cold Stare is a boss that can get really, really bothersome if you wind up losing control over him. If you keep him in the corner, that's great, but if you don't, then it could be a world of trouble, especially considering the fact that with green mail, he can hit you for 4 hearts damage, and the Ice that Falls does 2 hearts damage. So I'll give you a little bit of serious time for this.
Yep, thank you. Oh shoot. Okay, we're in 1-hit KO mode. Gonna take it slow. Do sword spins. And we're good.
Well done. Nice.
I got him in a bad spot
and
starting, but we're through.
Yeah,
getting
nice.
that second puff with that double hit with these sword swing was really, really good. Nice job. The spin, rather.
Thank you. Yeah. I was so nervous.
So you can
don't
try
want
to
to have another
minimize.
Mothula.
So you can try to minimize some of the problems in that dungeon if the cold stare does go into the corner there by heading up to the top of the wall, and that causes the ice to, when it falls, it doesn't come down into those 4 pieces that could still hit you. That's one of the strategies that a runner can do if they lose control of the cold stare. Luckily here for Fan, he didn't have to worry about that, and he was able to land the sword spins on this cold stare to knock him out. That was a pretty good job.
Oh, all right. So now we're on our last segment where we're just not going to go do dungeon rushing. We're going to pick up the last of the items we.
Yeah, there's
In
2
the
more items that we
overworlds.
need before we can be able to complete this game that are not attached to dungeons. And the first one here is by fluting to the location number 1 here, where we're going to be picking up the ether off the tablet up on the top of the mountain.
Oh, shoot. I was trying to avoid the squirrel, but actually went into the Cave of Shame here.
So there are 2 different routes that you can take, and you can do this before going into Swamp Palace, or you can do this before you go into Misery Mire. And there's one difference. If you're doing the world record route, you're going to do this after doing Swamp Palace because of the fact that you want to have the hook shot, which will allow you to maybe go up the mountain a little bit faster by doing a item dashing trick. But if you do it before you do Swamp Palace, that means you're going into Misery Mire with a better chance of having full life.
That's very important for the second room. There. Has a lot of enemies that you can kill quickly with 1 sword beat.
So the next stop we're going to make here is to 8, where we're going to be heading on over here to the aptly named Ice Rod Cave. Gee, I wonder why they call it the Ice Rod Cave.
Well, you'll see momentarily.
You're going to hold me in suspense like this?
I mean, you know what's in here. Everybody knows what's in here. It's a room full of ice, and in it, the ice rod. Rise.
Yeah, but we're going to need that ice rod in order to beat Trinex at the end of the Turtle Rock. The ether is needed because we need that to get into Misery Mire, but our next stop is not Misery Mire. It's going into Swamp Palace.
Yeah, this is actually labeled as crystal number 2 in the game, but we put it off till now because you want to come in here with a tempered sword. It saves a lot of time on the boss. And also, there's not much need to come here earlier.
Yeah, that hookshot doesn't unlock anything of importance.
Right? Get out of here. Stop trying to hurt me.
Enemies
So I
don't
know
care.
I know these enemies that throw the spears at you. They're like supposed to be like pig monster type things. I always thought they were kind of like bunnies.
The only bunnies that try to kill you in Link to the, or rather in The Legend of Zelda, are the Pole's Voice in the first game. Anyway, shout out to that game's 35th anniversary this past Sunday.
35 years. Wonder if we're gonna get like a Zelda 35.
Who knows?
All right, Swamp Palace. So we have beaten dungeons that are much harder than Swamp. Everything in here is still new to the Dark World. You're not going to get hit as hard by anything. And we also have collected a lot of health.
But on that same note, you still want to be careful in this dungeon because it's a dungeon that, while yes, what Fan is saying is true, if you lose control of this and just tank everything, my goodness, why am I beeping already?
Yeah.
I've seen tournament races that come down to deaths in this dungeon because of health management.
All right.
And that's true that according to chat, they were also in Link's Awakening, those Poles boys were.
I don't remember them in Link's Awakening, but it's been a while. I'll trust chat on this one.
Yeah, I think they're in a couple of the dungeons. I can't remember which ones off the top of my head, but I do remember seeing them, yes.
Now you'll see me dash in a lot of places like that one right there, where it's not 4 tiles or like Rick was saying, but it's the easiest way to dispatch enemies rather than swinging your sword and killing them the slow way. We'll do that a lot just to clear enemies as fast as we can. I still think like Nintendo was just trolling their players with the design of this, because you have to hit the switch and go around that room I was just in the long way in order to access. But it's slower to do it. Like at least initially when you don't know what's going on. So I was like, why would I have to do that? Come over here. The key not accessible. You have to go all the way back.
Oh yeah.
Awful.
And there are tricks in Randomizer that you can use towards it, and as you just got 1.0 there. There are tricks that you can use called Diver Down, but those tricks that are available there, they are not legal in the speed run in the no major glitches category.
Yeah, and that being said, because we don't have the Cane of Samaria until Misery Mire, I guess I'm kind of glad they're not allowed, because then you'd be entering Misery Mire a lot early. That's another scary note that will be coming up next after we get our legendary item here, the hook shot. It's like a staple of the Zelda series.
Boing, boing, boing.
Hook shots don't make boing noises, but hey, that's what the translation team decided they do.
Yeah.
Who am I to judge? Hook shot makes boing. Well, I picked up that pot, a little bit of autopilot. We are now entering back into Swamp. There's a couple more rooms here. Boss.
The one nice thing about Swamp Palace is that if you do take some damage and you do need a little bit of a pick-me-up, there are several rooms where you can grab the hearts. And if you try to grab a heart with a boomerang or a hook shot, you have a 50-50 shot of it counting as double, and therefore you get 2 hearts refilled for the price of 1.
Yeah, like there's so many restock rooms in this dungeon, and there's like no restock rooms outside of the one before the back half of Pod. I always thought that was kind of interesting how different dungeons. All right, here we go. We're finally here.
Yep, we're heading to Argus, and we're just going to go ahead and pull off these puffs and swing the sword at them, just continue to do some damage here. And the one thing you definitely do want to be careful is the fact that getting hit by Argus does 2 hearts of damage. This is where your health can become an issue if you're not careful. So you see Fan finishing off with the Argus first portion here, trying to get himself to the corner with a fire rod and armed. If he can do 2 plus a spin just like he just there, Argus is done.
Yeah, there's a really cool strat you can do for phase 1 where you have the sword outs and dash, and you could do what's called like a 0 cycle, get rid of all the puffs before it tries to sling them out. It's really difficult to do. I haven't learned it yet. I'd like to consider this maybe kind of like an installment of the second step here. Been running this game for about 2 weeks at this point. But I've done lots of randomizer.
So this cutscene here is the longest of the game, of the maiden end of dungeon spiels. It just feels like forever when you're watching that timer just accelerate up. So I'm gonna turn on over to Richard. Time for you to talk.
Yeah, so everyone, if anyone's interested in any of our hotfix shows, you can go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. So, as Fant was mentioning, the second step, we have the first step every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. If anyone out there is interested in learning how to speedrun, you can feel free to take a look at that show. Hobbs and Keys do a great job of introducing people to their own semi-blind races of games, as well as talk about things that they're looking for in games as they pick them up, and maybe you can find something that you like.
So we're going to head here into this dungeon, Misery Mire. It's going to be a dungeon where execution can come into play really, really big, and health management is very, very essential for success inside of this dungeon, because first you're going to see it in this second room, but you want to try to have as much health as possible for the end of this dungeon. So this is where the beam sword comes to play here. You want to have that so you can take care of the Wizrobes as well as the other enemy that's in this room. I think they're called Popos or whatever.
Yes. One of the few enemies that appears in Dark World and Light World. So we're just coming in here for a small key under this pot. Back out we go. It's definitely a very confusing dungeon, especially like first playthrough. And a large portion of that is because there are so many rooms that are just unnecessary. Like they're just there as red herrings. You don't need to go through them at all. We're skipping like half the rooms.
Speaking of red herrings, shout out to the fish room.
Yep. So it turns out you can fire rod through solid objects as long as they're...
Yeah, same idea of when you can mirror away blocks too.
I'm not sure if that's possible in non 1.0 versions of the game, the shooting through blocks. Either way, I'm glad we can do it. Saves like 8 block pushes in that set. Just bypass it completely and the key. Now we just have to pick up the dungeon item.
Which is required all of once inside of this dungeon.
Yeah, there's one spot. All the way around. Time dash there to get by that anti-fairy.
Yeah, that's a very sweet dash right there.
There's Arcane. I'm gonna do a setup here to enter the next room by dashing from the bottom. What's this gonna do? Cause this skeleton that's always there to just jump out of my way. You don't have to worry. Damage boost and tank the hits through the spikes. That's pretty good so far. Points of damage we've taken. I'm gonna opt to do a little bit of a slower strat there. Kill that Wizrobe. Extra heart. Gonna be deboosting a lot for the boss. And provided I've done everything correctly up to this point, I'm gonna be doing a relatively new action.
cooking action involves a lot of various things, but it also takes one of the powerful things, which is the direction of the fire rod blasts. And this is going to be the first case you're going to see it is here, where if you saw that little bit of a pause in the sound of the blocks going down, he hit the spike. However, the switches are seeming to work.
Yeah, I need to go hit this one manually because I'm out of magic, but we can do the same thing to hit that switch at a different spot than you normally should. Here we go, the main events.
Yeah.
This boss is scary.
So I'm going to be kind of quiet through this, but you're going to see a lot of deboosting here and a lot of sword spins.
Take it slow. I have one heart.
Ooh, that was close. Ooh.
All right, we should be good.
That one lightning bolt scared me. 8 arrows and Vitreous is dead with 1 heart remaining. So the optimal strat is that you want to go ahead, go into the green goo, because the green goo winds up doing 1 heart of damage versus everything else in that fight that does a whole bunch of damage. And just do the sword spins, which does the 4 heart, the level 4 sword damage to the eyes. And if you can get a couple of spins on it, then you can defeat those eyes and then switch on over to the bow towards the back half of the fight, and then have the 8 remaining for the big eyeball. But that one lightning bolt was really scaring me. That was close.
Yeah, I've had a little bit too many close calls on bosses. I think it's like what, the 3rd boss I've killed with 1 heart remaining, or in 1-hit KO mode.
So as we get ready to head to Turtle Rock, I'm going to switch on over to Richard once again to promote what we've got coming up next here on the Games Done Quick channel.
Yeah, so every other week after my shows, so I have Game Masters or Testing Grounds, is Challenger Approaching, which is usually around 10 p.m. Eastern. ADEF was kind enough to let us go a little bit over that time, so Fant could do both of these runs tonight. But we're going to have Challenger Approaching up next, which is a show all about challenge runs. So, you know, everyone does speed runs of games, but sometimes to add a little bit more depth to a run, people will challenge themselves by giving themselves other restrictions. So in tonight's run, it's going to be 1-hit KO mode and low percent. If nobody knows what low percent is, it's trying to beat the game with as fewest resources as possible. So be sure to check out Andy's run right after this.
Yeah, and Andy is a stellar when it comes to playing out this game with as little as possible. And so that's going to be a really fun watch here on the Games Done Quick channel after this is done. So stay tuned for that. I'm looking forward to it. But I'm also looking forward to seeing how Fant does inside of this Turtle Rock. We don't need the item in here, but we definitely do need to get to the big key. And getting to the big key is real fun, thanks to a few good enemies in this dungeon.
Oh, they're wonderful.
Oh, God, yeah.
Chain chomps, pokies.
Those little things that crawl out of the bomb opening in that one room.
Oh, yeah. How could I forget?
Those skulls that dance around in the room that you, before the big key.
Oh, don't worry. The bunny beams. Yeah. The possibilities are... The rollers. This is the final regular dungeon in the game, and everything hits like a truck, and we're still on our good friend, the Green Man. Let's see if I can do this correctly. Okay, this was a little bit late on the fire rod shot, so we can just take a little extra time to go around, but we're fine.
Congratulations, Fant. You did not get the map chest.
Yep. I was actually thinking too, I definitely get this one, right? Definitely. That's it for the opening rooms of Turtle Rock. Now we got to go to everybody's favorite room, the Chain Chomp room. Had to re-kill this Pokey here.
And for those who do NMG, you're going to see that a lot of runners set up the Agate Tower, the way they kill the enemies in that dungeon,
Ow.
on purpose so that they can set things up for a fairy drop on that Pokey. Now, Fant got lucky when he killed the 2 blue guards in that one room on the second floor of the tower that he didn't get a fairy drop from them, because that wound up leaving a potential for this Pokey to drop the fairy here.
And we got it. Got the 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Arrows here. Our main target for arrows right now is to get enough to handle the ice armos tower. We don't need them for this dungeon specifically. Darn bunny beam.
Bunnies are cute, though.
There's that chest we skipped in the fantasy run. Gonna make sure to hit that switch. Important for a room coming up. Remind me, Rick, to hit the switch before I go down to the dark room.
I will do my best. I am actually writing it down on a piece of paper right now. My pen doesn't work.
It's gonna be hard to
I
remember.
forget which
then.
one of these had a heart. The last one.
And you're a bunny again.
It was worth it.
Bunnies
So
are
I'm
cute.
skipping the big chest here because it contains the mirror shield, which you don't need. Just don't need it.
Okay, I have a thing on my piece of paper that says hit the switch.
Hit the switch. All right, here it comes. Here's the switch.
What could that
Oh, I
possibly
hit it.
mean?
That
He hit
right
the
there. I hit
switch.
it. I hit it, everybody. All right, so now we're in a seemingly maze-like room. And although it looks intimidating, the path through here is fairly simple, all things considered. You can hold like 3 directions at a point. I'm just going to opt to come over here and get some safety hearts so I don't die on the laser bridge. Here we go.
Yeah, thankfully for this laser bridge, you only have to worry about one laser, which is the one on the very, very bottom.
Gosh, twice in a row that I didn't get good RNG.
There you go. Nice job with the laser skip, but
It's fine.
we'll just call that planned.
The good old damage boost into the pit. Okay, this is actually getting kind of scary here.
Don't
We're
die.
at 3 hearts.
Don't die.
It's too late now to go back.
You're gonna pull out your handy dandy ice rod and serve some justice to Trinex coming up. Good luck. So I was gonna say, make sure you have enough magic.
Okay.
Nice job. There we go.
Great job, fam.
All right, coming up next, we have Ganon's Tower, which we don't do a big key guess a game for that one because we already know the path that Fant's going to take to get to the big chest.
I mean, that being said, you can guess anyway. And think,
But we
how
already
many
know what the
chests
answer
do
is
you...
going to be.
Yeah, you can't guess if you know what the answer is going to be, but if you don't, you may not know what the answer. You can still guess it. I'll tell you it's not 22.
Right. You heard Fan. 1 to 21 then, everyone.
Now I had 4 hearts going into that. Rick, how many hearts does Trinax if you touch like any part body deal?
4 hearts.
There you go. That was basically 1-hit KO.
Yes.
Look, you're already getting Challenger approaching right now. No, but seriously, that's going to be incredible. Stick around for it. Andy's will be really, really good at the game.
Right after this, not even
Right
10 minutes
after
away.
I would say about 10 minutes still.
Not even 10 minutes. I believe in Fan.
I believe in Ganon's tower. That's why I'm saying 10 minutes.
All right, making sure not to run here, but we're now in the final stretch of the game.
We have
So
a
if you're-
21 and a half in chat.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't think that's considered a check. All right, gonna opt to get this torch key so I don't have to worry about it.
Get the torch
What's
key.
the slowest of the 3 keys, optional keys to get. I like it.
So this is another situation where the boomerang's going to do you some good. Here's hitting the crystal switch. After you've run by the, after you run past the pegs, and here's a room where you're going to hit the switch and switch on over to the hook shot.
Oh, I
Almost.
was a little bit, I think, not far enough right.
Yeah, I think you're just enough away from it there.
All right,
There you go.
second try, every time.
So Fan currently sitting with 20 arrows. He's going to grab at least one more arrow drop here before he drops down to the Armos Knights fight, or he's going to grab the arrows post Armos fight. Either or, because you're going to need them for the climb of the tower.
Yeah, I'm gonna get them before since I'm a little bit low, so I don't want to have the unfortunate situation of running out of arrows down. So I'm gonna get the chest right above. Gives me a convenient 10 arrow pickup. Good enough.
And there's several locations where you can go to get some more arrows. Like, for instance, if you go through that portal that he just walked by, you can get some there. There's some in that pot that he just grabbed. And there's
Actually,
also some
I'm fine.
in this chest coming up.
This chest we're gonna skip. And now we're gonna try and set up for a quick kill here. Line up. Should be good. Oh.
Almost, almost. If you didn't get bopped around,
I got
think you would have
bopped once.
gotten
I
it.
was almost perfect. It's all right.
And
Get
the one
that
thing
arrow
is you can see him
refill.
get that 10 because he's down to 4. He does not want to wind up getting bopped around by the mimics in that second room and then have a despawn in that second mimic room.
And because I don't want to delay too much, I'm going to be picking up the red mail here. This is something that is not something you usually get like going for world record runs or anything. It's a safety measure, safety precaution. It's also not allowed to get a low percent run because that's percentage. You're not going to see Andy get any type of mail upgrade here. Coming up soon.
Yeah, you know, even that low percent, you're not going to see that tempered sword that you currently wield.
Yep. I will take that. Definitely take that. I think I'm gonna stop by the refill room as well, so to not worry about anything. take a couple hits here. That refill room is right here. Just come over here, and there's a fairy you can get. Fill you up. And now we're going into the gauntlet.
Yeah, the gauntlet is pretty much a series of rooms that really test your execution practice here. And let's just say that good RNG does come into play with these rooms. If you get great RNG against these enemies, then these are fun rooms to deal with.
Got a bad bit of RNG here with this one sitting at top, but fine. Just have to go around the room once more. We're clear. Down we go. Gonna swap to the fire rod here. Get that skeleton. Then we'll also use this to more quickly dispatch the second land mofo. Ideally.
If they cooperate.
Try to get a quick slash in there. And
Still a decent fight, though.
grab the leftover magic there, because we're going to use that magic to dispatch the Wizrobes. The Cane of Samaria is wonderful at these two rooms, because they have 1 health essentially. They'll die to 1 hit from anything. You just place them in the right spot. That's my sword shot there, it's fine. Now just a couple torch rooms. We're almost there, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I need to get a magic refill in here for the next room, which conveniently, there's one right there. And because we got that key on the torch, we could just go right along the next room.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about these mini Helmasaurs and just head right straight to the upcoming Moldorm 2 fight. I see chat talking about the world record for this run. Shoutouts to Q's who ended up taking the world record last week. 1:23:03.
That's an incredible time. I think the 123 barrier is going to be broken soon.
Also impressive. It's a 30-year-old game.
Yep.
Still active.
And
Goes
stuff
to show.
still gets found.
It goes to show that, you know, a good game's a good game. You know, it's still fun to play.
It is fun. All right. Just pausing my dash there for the bumpers to move out of the way. And now time for Aghanim 2. And again.
Yeah, hopefully you can get a better RNG with this Aghanim 2 than you did in the randomizer run.
Let's see what my pattern's going to be. I hate when they're all in a line. Managed to get a double out of it.
Yeah, nice double.
Okay, this is a really good lineup potentially.
Yeah. And he didn't throw a blue
triple.
spear at you, so that's good too.
Here we go. Much
Nice.
better. Much better.
A 2-3-1, that's a good one.
All right. Now you get to kill the pig a second time, but this time we're lacking an item we had in Randomizer, and that's silver arrows. We have to do something called Silverless Begin.
So the couple of differences between the randomizer run and this is the fact that he's got the tempered sword as opposed to the gold sword. So each cycle is going to be 12 total hits as opposed to the 6 that it was in the randomizer with the gold sword. And the other thing is that instead of hitting Ganon with the silver arrows, you're going to have to hit him with 12 spins. So you see Fat tried to set himself up for getting a double spin off the Trident. Unfortunately,
Yeah, I missed it.
mistimed it.
Gonna have to do a 2-cycle here as well, unfortunately. Think I got enough? Okay. So now we just have to hit them 4 times.
By the
as
way,
he
that low
decides to
percent.
teleport around.
By the way, that low percent coming up in just a few moments. That is going to be quite the fun, as it's going to be 52 spins on Ganon with that Master Sword. So you want to stay tuned for that.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna need to stay up late tonight. Definitely want to catch that. Baiting the fire bat over here. Just gonna ensure we get. Oh shoot!
You didn't fall off. That's the most important thing. Okay, so here's where we get the 12 spins that are needed to defeat Ganon.
1, 2. I'm just gonna go for double spins here instead of triple spins, which you can do if you time it correctly.
Yeah, if you use the fire rod, you have a better chance of doing the triple spins if you set him up at the right time with a fire rod shot. Otherwise, with the lamp, more often than not, you're going to be doing doubles at the max.
Actually, can't tell if those last 2 were hits. Left side of the screen. I'll try to get a quick one in there for a triple.
Yeah,
Almost
that would have
done
been your
and-
best opportunity to do so, yeah.
I think I'm like 1 or 2 spins away. That's a bad
Nice.
position, Ganon. Thanks. There we go.
There it
Ganon's
is.
down. Time's going to be coming up the same time as when I enter the door, same as Randomizer. So get ready. And time.
Time.
GG, fan. Just over 139 there.
Yeah,
All right.
pretty
Well done.
solid run, all things considering here. To
Underestimate.
still get a sub 140.
Yeah. Great job.
Yeah, but sub 130 is going to be coming in upcoming.
Yeah, be sure to follow this guy, twitch.tv/fant_TV, as he tries to make his push for the sub 90. And as you mentioned, it is going to come because you've definitely shown the improvement of your skill as you've grown in this category.
Yeah, and also follow our commentator, twitch.tv/AdirondackRick as well, doing great commentary for both the Randomizer Fantasy as well as this NMG run. Great job from both of you. Any final
Appreciate it.
words?
Thank you all for watching. Thank you, GDQ, for having me on. I think it's like just really exciting today. You get to see Link to the Past in 3 different ways. To see fantasy, so like a new concept for Randomizer. You get to see a relatively new runner go through NMG, that being me. And then you're going to see a runner with years and years of practice and experience coming on after this. Same challenge.
Yeah, and we won't make anyone wait any longer. We're just going to have a very quick break as we switch over to Challenger Approaching with Andy. So thank you very much for watching Game Masters, everyone, and take care.
Thanks, everybody.